Yo ho, what's up? Like Corey Moses, how you doing? Can you hear me? Can't hear you. You are dead. Dead. No audio, baby. No audio. There you go.
Oh my god.
had your mute button on?
Oh, what the hell? Possibly, yeah.
You're lagging bad.
Oh, you can hear me now, so perfect. Yay.
Yeah, we can hear you, but you're lagging bad.
Shit.
So what's up? Hey, everybody. Welcome to Discourse Syndicate RG3. Litecoin Moses X Jesus with us. I know everybody's, hanging out over there at Hexo's show and listening to Richard. But I didn't want to delay it anymore. I know there's some people that want to get on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I could listen to Richard recorded, and that's probably what I'll do in when I lay down in my bed, put my head down to go to sleep tonight, is to listen to him and Hexo. That's going to be awesome. A lot of content there. I'm sure Richard laid some really cool shit down. So let me jump into the chat real quick and say thanks to all of our loyal guys in there. Brand's in there. Crypto Kobe, right on. Same Crypto Kobe on the Twitters. That'd be cool, man. John Hasselroth, Day 43 OG, Coin Alexander. Thanks, Bob, for jumping in. Squarp, is that how you say it? Brand's here. Yeah. Let's see what else we got in here. And Brian, right on, Brian. Torn between streams. Nah, man, you guys, if you guys want to go over there and hang out and listen to Richard, that's like once in a while thing. I'm down with that. Listen to it or listen to the recording. It's there. It's going to be on Dlive for you to listen to the recording. This is a participation show here. So if you guys want to get involved, this is the FN Hangout. And everyone here is welcome. I posted on Twitter. I posted on Discord. I posted in all the Hex channels on Telegram. So this is your show. This is for you to come on and chat with us, ask questions, hang out, let the community know who you are, show your face. And it's also a place for fudders, haters, shit talkers, people who want to, get wrecked or try and wreck us and tell us about what they think about us or Hex or whatever, how shitty we are, how shitty the show is, how fucked up RG3 is, whatever. This is your place to come and do that. We've had no takers yet, but I'm down with it. Bring it. So that's what we got going on here. We got one. I do want to jump in real quick, Litecoin, and do a quick rant about something that I'm a little pissed off about in light of all the shit that's been going on. There's two things actually. And before we get too deep into them, I want to throw this out now so that I'm not too ranty later, right? So I'm not repeating myself. So first of all, right. This Tone Vase shit. I don't even want to mention the guy's name, and that might be the last time I ever mention the Marble Gargler's fucking name, because he's a piece of shit. And I hope he sees this one day, because he went out and what was it the other day? The day before yesterday, I think it was. He made a post about a young man who had killed himself, and the way he posted was, hey, see, this stuff wouldn't happen if you buy my $3,000 trading course. And then he said, and then in the next sentence, listen to what this fucking douchebag said. He said, I got a laugh out of this. Now, I'm not quoting him specifically, because he has since taken the post down. Now, this is the real bad part about this. This is the real bad part about this whole thing. So the first thing I did when I saw that is I said, you know what? I'm done with this fucktard. I'm blocking his ass. So I just blocked him. And then I saw later on down the road in Twitter, somebody made another post. And that post was his reaction to all the negative feedback that he got. And that motherfucker's reaction was worse than his initial post, because he didn't apologize. He wasn't sensitive. He was still insensitive. And a bunch of his followers were saying the same shit. and backing him up. He didn't apologize. He didn't say anything. Look, this kid is 20 years old and he jumped in front of a fucking train. And his name is Alexander Kearns is his name. And he's from Nebraska, and the family must be absolutely fucking devastated right now because of this, what this kid did. Now, I'm not going to say that there aren't underlying, suicide is there's only a certain sect of people that will actually do something like that. And there's probably other issues going on there. And I'm not going to take that away from this issue, but I'm not going to give him the leeway and say that, hey, there was something wrong here. But this isn't funny. This isn't cool. For him to capitalize on this young man's death is absolutely fucking disgusting. And for him to come back and not apologize and not clear this shit up is even worse. If you follow him, if you even have any anything to do with that son of a bitch, fuck you too. You shouldn't. He deserves to be shunned. He deserves to have everybody turn their back on him. He's a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. I have a 20-year-old son, and if I lost my son because of some shit like that, I'd be devastated. My whole family would be devastated. It doesn't make sense. And the real problem is that it wasn't even this kid making a bad trade that made his account show that he was negative $750K. What it was a glitch in the system. It was a glitch in the fucking system. So for Tone to go out there and say, for the marble gargling son of a bitch to go out there and say that this kid, if he would have, took his $3,000 course and fed him a steak fucking dinner or something, then, he would have been all right. That's bullshit, man. So my heart goes out to that family. And what happened there. I mean, it's tragic. It's horrible. Guys, don't trade, period. End of story. I just showed my son, Hex, and he's excited about it. He's made his steaks and he has some liquid and he's watching the price move. So he's excited about it. I could just imagine, if in the privacy of his own, I've got to go have a talk with him now, privacy of his own room. He got into some kind of margin deal and, a glitch, and he got wrecked. And oh my gosh, I mean, that can happen. And obviously it did, it's just, it's a tragedy. And for somebody to capitalize on it is just atrocious. So, I mean, that's the last I want to say about it. It breaks my heart, and my heart goes out to that family. And I hope that we haven't lost all of our humanity and our empathy because of the internet. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so easy to get behind your computer screen. It's so easy to get behind the keyboard and just talk shit to people and laugh at people and do all that crap. See, I come from a different generation, obviously, than all of you guys, but you guys have all grown up in this shit. And, it's like almost part of the culture, but serious shit happens behind all of this stuff, man. And it's not good for humanity. It's not good for all of us to have these kind of ideals where it's okay to laugh at stuff like that because it's not funny. People's lives were destroyed because of a computer glitch.
A lot of these dudes don't even have kids. That's why they don't fucking understand, man.
And that's the other thing. The most important thing in my life, before was, hey, get me a lady, and what am I going to do this weekend, and my car, and, am I going surfing this weekend? That kind of stuff, and then when you have kids, your whole life changes and it revolves around them, and they're important to you, and their well-being is the most important thing to you. And, I couldn't even imagine what's going on with that family today, over a glitch, over some digits changing wrong and then changing back after their son was gone. I mean, it's heartbreaking. It blows me away. And to belittle that is just the most egregious thing that I've seen in crypto, period. And on the internet. I mean, I've seen some bad, foul shit, but that right there, using it as a marketing tool, laughing at it, is the most egregious thing that I think I've ever heard of, seen on the internet, period. So Tone Vase, you are a piece of dirty fucking shit. I have nothing to do with you. I will never follow you. Anybody that does follow him, please unfollow him. He's a piece of shit, and he's shilling shit that's hurting people anyway. So he's worthless to you in crypto. He's absolutely worthless because trading sucks anyway. If you think you're a good trader in crypto, you're bullshitting yourself because it's very, very hard market to try and track, to try and model. It's too volatile. You're going to end up getting
traders lose their money.
90%, and that's a statistic. 90%.
And the exchanges push. What the exchanges do is that the exchanges are supposed to be like this little cove to protect you, right? Like your little pirate ship's nice and protective in this cove. But what the pier does is the pier looks like, oh, that boat, if I pushed it out, it could crash, and then I could just salvage what's left over. So they start trading against the other accounts. So these accounts always lose. So they start taking up the opposite side of the bets, saying like, even though we lose for every $10 we put up, we lose one. Let's just keep doing it. And it's the only exchanges with their own information stealing money from you.
And there's so much insider shit going on, guys. I've been in groups where insider stuff is just talked about all the time, and where game theory is created, and where it's actually deployed into these cryptos and ICOs and all this other stuff that's out there. The trading game is, as far as I'm concerned, is rigged. You know, there's so many things going on, wash trading and all this other shit that you think that you know what you're doing, but I'm telling you, most of you guys don't, because the real stock market world is getting wrecked right now, and those guys are having a hard time. So anybody that's involved in crypto trading, it's a slippery slope. And I'm not saying that, you know, same situation is going to happen to you that happened to this young gentleman, you know, but because of that environment, this happened, you know, because that this young man, and 20 years old, you know, didn't really have any influence from life yet at all, because of a couple of digits and a mistake. He's not here with us anymore, and his family is grieving like nobody's business. It's just the senseless loss. And then to have somebody like in our community do that is like, it's abhorrent. I can't even tell you what it sparks in me. It's so horrible, so horrible. But anyway, no more about that. I don't want to talk about that anymore. My heart goes out to the family, and I just hope the best for him. And I know it's going to take him a long time to heal from it and everything. But the other thing that I want to kind of rant about a little bit is Supple Man and his freaking dumb ass. He is a brilliant YouTuber. He's very talented. I loved watching him. I used to love watching him because he was one of those very larger than life kind of figures. He talked about crypto, in my opinion, very objectively. And he still has that kind of objective approach. You know, he's made his mistakes and calls and stuff too, like everyone, because you can't really figure this market out. You know, there are no experts, in my opinion. And you can call yourself one, but I'll tell you that you can search inside and find places that you failed. That's for sure. Definitely. But Supple Man, so he talks about Hex the other day, and he did this kind of like on the fence, you know, hey, it's good. I see this. I like that. But, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't, you know, he played that whole, well, it could do this and it could do that. And it might be good and it might be bad. I would say no, but I might do it. Blah, 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 blah. You know, back and forth with all that fence stalking bullshit on his deal, right? And people praised him. And it was almost like, well, hey, you get a good job, you know, and I gave him the nice deal, I guess. Mediocre is whatever, you know. If mediocre is good, then great job, bravo, question mark. You know, that was kind of my attitude about it. Like, okay, dude, whatever. Today, you want to know what this son of a bitch did? This motherfucker comes out the very next day. Okay. And this is his show today. The 5 top staking coins in crypto.
Okay.
Let me tell you what number 5 was. Icon.
What?
Okay. Icon. Number 5.
That's some bullshit.
Fusion.
Haven't heard of it. Trash.
Number 4. Elrond.
Bullshit. Trash.
Numero 3. Bitmax.
What the fuck
Numero
is that?
2. And his number 1 stake in crypto, everybody. Right? You ready for it? What would you guys think it is? I know what all you guys think it is. His number 1 crypto, Phantom, is his number 1 staking crypto.
4 out of 5 are no-name coins. Literally. 4 out of 5 are what the?
4 of them. Yeah. I
wow.
I knew one name, and he did a full-on review on all 5 of these the day after he fenced Hex. Did a lackluster, mediocre job, but the best job I've seen so far of anybody who's done any research about Hex. We all kindly corrected his mistakes in his chat. Kindly. We all went on there, kindly chatted. Nobody said, hey, you stupid fuck, you did this wrong, you said that wrong, blah, blah, blah. Nobody did any of that. Everyone was like, well, hey, let me change your opinion on this because you got this wrong. Oh, that was great job, Suppo, but you may have done this wrong. You know, so you got this kind of, my comment was about how he said that all of the Bitcoin claimers were going to dump on everybody. Right. And I told him why they wouldn't, you know, and even after all that, after the research that he did, he still, and of course he's coming out of retirement himself. Everybody's dusting off their fucking cobwebs from 2018, you know. And so now he decides to do the same thing everybody does. Well, I'm going to come out and I'm going to fuck with Hex the first thing in order to dust the cobwebs off. That seems like the easy freaking money right now. So I'm going to come out and bash Hex or give a so-so review on Hex and walk away from it clean without giving it any props or anything, because that's what everybody's talking about. So I'm going to get me some views, because I see all of your guys' freaking your streams. You got 205,000 followers, but at 205,000 followers and you got 205K, but you've got 1.7K watching. Right. That's a big dip. And some of you who had 2, 3, 4, 5,000 listeners or viewers, now you've got 100, couple hundred, 50, 30 or less. Some of them even less. We get more on this show than a lot of them get. Like, I'm looking at, okay, so we got 15 people watching now. We're going up against Richard in this community. So that's like, you ain't never going to get everybody to pull away from Richard. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. But we've got as much viewers as a lot of these old time crypto people that have 5,000 viewers in the past, you know? So, you know, for them to come out and do this shit and continue to do this shit. And then for Suppleman to fucking come out and do top 5 staking coins after Hex too. I bet he did that because he got shit talked. I'll bet. Why did you do that? Why did you even give a mediocre review of Hex? You better redeem yourself. Well, okay, I'll come out with my 5 best, staking cryptos and won't mention Hex to kind of clear his name or something. You know what, Suppo? You are a freaking limp noodle as far as I'm concerned, buddy. That was weak. That was a weak showing. You didn't do yourself any due diligence. And I don't have a reputation to save here, so fuck you, you stupid fuck. Anyway, and we're not monetized, and YouTube's about to take us off the air anyway, so whatever, fuck, Yeah. All right. So,
but just one
go ahead.
Yeah. One last thing on him too, and even Crypto Crow mentioned.
I like him, Superman. Dude. I like Suppo, man.
He's cool. He might turn around. What's going to happen, dude?
They're all going to have to.
They're going to have to. What's going to happen?
And then I'm going to have to apologize to a bunch of them. I'm sorry, I didn't even tell you to go fuck yourself. Buddy.
You know what I would have respected from Superman if he had seen like, oh shoot, you're right, and then said, okay, hey, I'm going to take all your user requested info on this that I got wrong on the last video, and in a week or so, I'm going to compile it together and make a new video with all the right information. That's what I would if I was Superman. That's what I would have done. If it was me doing it, what I would have done is I'm going to do that video plus I'll do a stream with you, with us, or with Richard or something. Have it explained to you.
I ain't never gonna come on this show, man.
Right? I know. Hey, watch. No, people like. I've been noticing this thing, dude. It's like how vain people are with the numbers, right? The minute we're at a couple thousand followers, right? Where you hit 5,000 followers on Twitter, you hit 5,000 followers on YouTube, or 10,000 followers on crypto. You're like God on Olympus and stuff. Like you can literally like ask anybody. Everyone's like, yeah, can I come on, man? Can I come on? Can I come on? Like like I've had a couple buddies of mine who their channels are really starting to really pop off now, and the amount of like cocksucking that some of these crypto influencers start doing.
Yeah,
to get on
I know.
Show now. Yeah.
I know, John. I know. My kids call me that too. I'm salty. I'm a freaking rotten old fuck, and I know it. But you got to deal with it if you want to.
Yeah.
You know, the old man has got to yell at people and tell me get off his lawn. So get off my fucking lawn.
Last thing on Superman. Superman got off of YouTube because he put his whole name and reputation behind this one coin, and it dumped, I think, Hedera hash graph, and he got fucking wrecked. That he just he left YouTube for most of the bear market and just barely came back after all this time. And that's kind of the story, essentially. What's been going on with Superman in the background.
Well, I really like the guy, and I hope that he comes around and I can watch him again. But man, that was just so fucking weak, man. Yeah. And I like the guy. So I mean, I talk shit, but if he came on, I'd apologize, of course. But for now, fuck you. All right. So we got some. Oh, he ain't here yet. He left. Crypto Orange. What's up? Connect.
Connect.
Can't hear you yet.
Okay.
Nope. Volume done. Volume not working.
It might be your headphone things like last time with the Bluetooth or whatever you were doing.
Yeah, Cass, we're streaming, man. Yeah, Steph, we're going to get down to business, man. Hexo and RH are done. Oh, cool. So maybe, yep, there goes the viewers. They're starting to get some viewers. I can't believe you guys are all, oh my goodness. Wait a minute, guys. So let me bring up Crypto Orange, and oh my gosh, we have an awesome guest coming into the stream tonight. It is Hexologist. What's up, bro? We miss you over here, man.
What's up? Oh, is this YouTube? I don't know if I'm allowed.
Dude, oh shit, they're gonna shut us down. Oh no.
Shut it down. Shut it down. What's up, guys?
Just the sound of your voice is probably gonna get them to cancel the chat.
Like, get them out of here.
Sweet top hat, man.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Hold on one second.
This is where I collect all my shield money. This is go around. Please.
Oh man,
please donate.
It's good to meet you, Miss Yo Hex.
I mean,
hey,
funny Jim.
What's that?
What? Make sure I got the sound going right.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it might be getting echo from you, Funding Jim.
Okay, I'm going back down.
Yeah, who is the guy in the top hat?
Man, Hexo, you're a streaming machine, man. Your
no
show,
kidding, bro.
Can't stay long. I can't stay long.
Wait. Hold on one second. Let me shut everybody down for a quick second, because we've got a new cutthroat coming in here tonight on Discourse Syndicate, and that's Crypto Orange. Crypto Orange, thanks for joining us, bud. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Nice to meet you all. Pleasure.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
you too, man.
Hey, Hexo, how are you, my friend?
Great. How are you, man?
Yeah, you didn't expect that, huh? You come on here and
I was like, wow.
The man of the hours in here. Hey, so before we get started talking shit, about everything that's going on, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, Crypto Orange? How long have you been in Hex? What's going on? Just give us your quick little story about who you are, so everybody knows.
Absolutely. So I've been in crypto for probably about 2.5 years, and I came in February 2018, right when the dip was happening. I actually got involved in Bitcoin in 2016, but I never bought any. I was very fascinated by a couple of documentaries that I watched about Bitcoin, but then I kind of I went on a Coinbase. I actually opened up a Coinbase wallet, and it was like $750, and I was like, I'm not going to spend $750 on a digital currency for what? What are you going to do with it? And then I kind of forgot about it until, kind of hit the news and so forth. And then from there, I was kind of hooked. I started up a meetup group. I live in Connecticut, and I had one of the first meetup groups in the area. I was there alone for many, many weeks. Did that for about 6 months. Same thing. I've done everything. I've touched every bit of the space. I've done masternodes. I've done leverage trading, which I agree you just absolutely have to avoid. I watched Richard do an interview, and actually I was in a trading group, and the gentleman who was part of the who ran the trading group actually interviewed Richard, and that was one of the first exposures I had to him. And I was just fascinated by how he interviewed, how he presented himself. And I watched other interviews, and it's too bad because the early interviews, it's too bad because it was just a different, here I go, here's Richard, here's the interviewer. And it was never a fair exchange. But he always held up so well. I bought a little bit of Hex in December when it came out, just watched it. Of course, I was in a trading group, and you mentioned Hex, and it's boom, 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 daggers, the whole bit. So I kind of just watched it and so forth. So I haven't been in it in earnest until like a month, probably 4 or 6 weeks. I watched Richard's 7-hour interview, his live stream when he introduced Hex when it first, came on board. And I was just enthralled. It was like watching a fabulous Netflix series. It was almost like Breaking Bad for me. I was like, I did 2 hours, boom, boom, boom. I watched it through, and he just had he goes way back. So he understands the whole beginning. He was there. And he just had a great sense of the space and people. And I got into finally understanding, and then watching all of you, getting in the Telegram group, and then understanding. I don't know when the light finally clicked, when I understood about staking and the importance of it, like the whole, how it's all set up, that it's just kind of, it's on its way, basically, and it's working. And that's the one thing I tell people. I say, you know what, for what it's worth, you go on Hex.live, and people are making hundreds, thousands of dollars within a week's span of time. So I don't know what other cryptocurrency is doing that right now. I love the idea of good behavior and putting the stakes way, way out. And I definitely, thank God I understood it early on, because now I'm doing stakes 15 years and bringing them back, walking backwards. I did my early stakes right around big payday, because I figured I was like, okay, I'll just get my double my coins and scoot. I'm fine. We'll be good. And then I finally clicked like, no. That's not the way you play the game. You play the long game. You bring it back to now, and that's how you play it. However deep you can get into it. And the few conversations I've had with people online, it's not been a lot, but just kind of like in the back channels of Telegram and so forth, and they've asked me, what are your thoughts and so forth. I always tell them that the best staking day was yesterday. The best percentage of share percentage is going to be 5555, and then you've got to find in that space where you're going to be most comfortable, right? So, find a place in Hex where you're going to be. Okay, how far out do you want to go? You want to go 2.5 years, 3 years? You want to go shorter? You want to go a year, and then see. And my thing is, is Hexo here?
He had to step out for a second.
So I absolutely agree with Hexo as far as bringing on new people, because people who have been in this space, all of us have been in this space for a good while. We're not going to convert the people who have been jaded, wrecked, salty. I am more focused on people who are completely new. And my whole thing is, listen, you're spending $50, $100 going out to dinner. Why don't you just put a stake into next year and don't even think about anything beyond that? Because if we can get them in the first year and get away from this, you know what I mean? This whole, because it gets very complicated, especially for new people. And I think Hex is a great onboard for new users, meaning people who have never been into crypto. I think it's beautiful because they get to interact with it. It's not you kind of throw your Bitcoin in a Trezor and then you kind of forget about it, which is what a lot of people do. This is you really interact with it. And then you have a community, which is awesome. You can actually talk to people who are in it and then get some ideas. But if you get them in for that first year, and even just a couple of stakes, 2, 3, 4 stakes, and then say, okay, you're good, you're great, you're in, you get the big payday, let's see how it goes, and leave it at that. So that's my kind of skew. So if I talk to new people, that's going to be my pitch.
I wanted to comment something about that. When you say it used to be set it, forget it, a lot of the narrative for other cryptos had been dollar cost average. It works well. I mean, extremely well with Hex as well.
Yeah.
People should also look into, Kyle had a automatic purchasing smart contract. Many in here may already know about that. Mm-hmm. And I think it was, I don't know enough about it because I was just doing my own dollar cost averaging when I was doing my purchasing primarily. But I know that, for people that say, hey, my regular paycheck is X, I can afford $50, a paycheck, or, whatever you're comfortable with as far as your dinner money, like you just commented, this amount that you consider, good principles in or your home budget management would be, to live off of 70% of what you make. I mean, all in, and have 20, 30% going towards other things, and maybe diversify that into other asset classes and things like that. So I'm not saying go all in on one particular asset class, but a great savings plan, a great leverage of your time kind of plan, because you're selling your time basically to earn money, is exactly what you just said. Is partly is the, I don't know any other crypto that I could look at and build a ladder on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, on a paycheck basis, and not feel like it's something that's hurting me lifestyle-wise to throw $100 at it, And I think that for people that really, take that one-time investment of understanding what Hex is, and I mean investment of your time, to look at content, to go through the layman's guide, to understand it, but not so much that you get overwhelmed and you just get paralyzed, because Richard just said that on his last stream. There's so much information about Hex that the engineer personality will want to look at every single detail before making any move. And the gambler personality will say, well, I don't have to care what it does. I just want to know if it's going to be worth more tomorrow, because I'm planning on selling it tomorrow. So you need to be somewhere in between there.
Yeah. So I gotta disagree with you on bringing new users on versus users that are already in crypto, because here's what I see in my theory and what I think, and it's not worth about a shit, but whatever.
Yeah.
The crypto, the wrecked crypto crowd that is out there, if they come in and really look at Hex, they're going to start to see things that they like, because the thing about Hex is that every corner you walk around on Hex, it is something that you hoped crypto was going to be. And there's nobody that can deny that, because it is everything that crypto is supposed to be. And once you really take a proper look at it and you know anything about crypto whatsoever, you're going to understand that Hex is the right crypto. You're going to understand that Hex is what everything actually said it was going to deliver, but couldn't and didn't. And here it is, delivered, done, signed, sealed, ready for you to take on. You know, you can't build a passive residual income off of any other crypto than Hex. Build it. And when I say passive residual income, I mean you're going to get passive residual Hex. The price of Hex at the time that you spend it or the time that you unstake it or whatever is going to be what it is going to be based on the value of that thing.
Right.
But it is a way for you to earn more crypto by staking these ladders and using the system. So it is what crypto people are looking for. And I think that Hex's big bull run, or this next cycle that it's going to see, is going to be from, we're going to onboard people. I get it.
Right.
But it's going to be from within the crypto community that change happens quickly, because it's going to be a few whales that get in, blow the price up, and the FOMO starts, and then they're going to start looking. That's the only way it's going to move fast.
Yeah, you're right.
A few comments about that is, like you just said, and Richard just streamed about this for 4 hours with that Hexologist, and it was a couple of things I took away from it were, a whale does move a price, because the one whale basically doubled the price of Hex in one action. And that, again, is just like the loud bang down the street. It gets the attention of the whole neighborhood. The whole neighborhood says, hey, what was that? Oh my gosh, what was that about? Did I miss something? Was I not paying attention? Do I not understand how this thing works? And it makes you question. But on the other side, not really counter, but just something to consider is our recency bias. Our psychology is something about recency bias. And so our trend of what has happened in the past, we normalize. And if you're inside of crypto for 3 months, 3 years, since the origin of Bitcoin, you have seen maybe different iterations of different alts and different coins and different things to speculate on and things that move the price and market and so forth. And it's so attractive to a young man's competition drive, a young person that really wants to establish their status through competition. It's just a natural thing, especially for males, I think, in general. And so that trend of speculation, trade, leverage, movement, all those sorts of things for the existing, even if they've been in for 3 months, the existing non-Hex familiar crypto crowd that finished their Coinbase understanding, and now they've gotten onto maybe 3 or 4 types of exchanges, and now they hear about this, that, or the other, and they speculate on, they get a taste of blood, so to speak, as far as a profit, or at least they feel like that was a learning curve. I think that it is different because Richard was pointing out that if you have a pie and you have 10% of that pie, and the competition game, the trend until Hex has been, I want more of the pie. I want 12%. I want market share. I want more of this existing pie. So I want to take from the Tron people, and I want to take from the ETH people, and I want to take from the EOS people, so that I'm pulling that tribe or those wedges into my slice of pie, into my tribe part of crypto or alt. But the difference is, if you 10x your 10% of a pie, you have all the pie. There's no more game. It's game over. You have 10x. The most you can do is 10x, because 10% times 10 slices is the whole pie. Whereas if you focus your energies on making the pie bigger, 10x the size of the pie, your share stays the same of that bigger pie, but you make way more profit. And it's a different thing, because when people feel like, you know, I can't, it's like saying I'm going to play basketball against Michael Jordan in his prime. I'm never going to get a score. Why would I play? So if people that are new in crypto feel like they're getting dominated in other things, they may want to just participate in a pie where they feel it's a fair, mathematical, not immutable, not hype cycle with vapor underneath it. There's a lot that's been put into Hex that's unlike any other alt. That's my take on it.
You know, the statement that I'm making is about short-term gains for Hex, because we've got a few months, and there is no way that the whole crypto pie, unless some kind of crazy FOMO, Hex isn't going to create the FOMO to bring the masses into crypto.
No.
We're going to be, it's going to take, and I've talked to the in private to me and Litecoin just talked about this, was, in my opinion, we're going to need whales, black swan events within crypto in order to create what we're trying to create here, or what we think is going to happen. You know, when we sit here and I mean, I just want to be a realist about our price predictions and all of these things that we talk about. Market share is important to price prediction. You know, we need a bigger slice of that pie in order for Hex to do 0.33 cents that we talk about. That's a big share of that market. And the only market that can come that quickly, let's be realist about this. I mean, even if we're talking 3 to 5 cents, that's a big margin, you know? So it's going to take a whale event. It's going to take black swan events in order to get people to FOMO in. It's going to take a lot of different things in order to make that happen, to make that price move happen. So yes, we want the crypto pie to get bigger. Oh yeah, that's the goal. That's the long-term goal. Mm-hmm. But right now, we're in a launch phase, and we're trying to gather some steam, to create some excitement, to create a black swan event of our own, Hex being that in crypto. And maybe that might be the spark that ignites the outside world to take a look at crypto when people start to see how solid it is. Right. So what do we do inside our little bubble here of crypto to create that event, to get people excited about it, to get people to see it and look at it? Because the real FOMO is going to happen when people who are already in crypto see what Hex is. Right. And when they see what it's all about and what it really is, and not the scam shit, not all the stuff that they think it is. Even our thought leaders, and I opened up the show with Suppleman and what he said. So our thought leaders, our mouths out there are talking shit still. Even the best reviews are on the fence, limp noodles. And then, I mean, freaking Suppleman the very next day, top 5 staking coins, and Hex isn't in the fucking top 5. That's ridiculous. You know, that's not how we're going to get
his revenue. Doesn't come from,
well, of course.
I mean, maybe it's a pre-bought bag or something like that, but it's almost never a pre-bought bag.
Well,
I
mean,
sponsorship.
You know, so, we can't accuse them of anything.
You're not going to be in the top 5 of Consumer Reports if you're not pay for play. You're just not. I mean, I think it's an honest magazine or something like that. That's not how the influence game works, especially in a YouTube environment. You know, he has an audience. It's the same sort of thing. It's not going to,
I think the Black Swan event would be, I mean, the ultimate Black Swan event for us would be for a lot of the big guys in the Ethereum developer community and the foundation themselves, especially some of the bigger Genesis whales, so to speak. or to come out and say, hey, now this is a viable financial product built on our blockchain.
Right.
Right. And then we have Big Payday, which is the major event that'll only happen one time in its life.
Right.
So, I mean, we have...
But it's hard to get everyone to see that potential.
I know,
like, we see it, but
and
man,
they probably
how do you
won't.
explain that?
It's going to come and go,
Yeah.
and the early adopters are going to benefit from it greatly. And, you know, the masses are more than likely going to go, oh, fuck, I missed on that.
Yep.
Right.
You know,
Well,
and-
the trend has been, again, an airdrop. People get free things for free, and then they drop that because they think that there's enough hype in the you know, buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So, you know, if you say, hey, I'm going to get an airdrop, of course the top price always tanks. It always tanks when it goes to an exchange, and it tanks when there's an airdrop, because the people that didn't get the airdrop is different, right? And so I think that that's, in my opinion, I think that that same kind of experienced 3 months, 6 months, 3 year, 10-year experienced quote unquote crypto trader will still not appreciate the fact that, okay, there's Big Payday, and I'll sell half my bag. I've still got my original stake. I'll keep my, I'm selling house money, right? So I still have this opinion that that trend is different than the newly onboarded person. You know, Hexologist onboarded people. I onboard people pretty regularly. They're not like big whales or anything like that, but I have a rental business. So I rent 6 different apartments, and part of their rental that they pay every night, it goes to Hex, and they actually have stakes. They have their own stake. So I'm charging a premium for the same service, but I'm not keeping the profit. I'm basically going through an education process, just like a freemium, and saying, okay, maybe this could directly help me, but why would I do that? I want word of mouth, you know, because it will affect the community long after they. And this is in the heart of Silicon Valley. I run across people all the time that are, I mean, less than a mile away is NVIDIA, which is the biggest graphics card company in North America. So I'm running into all these kind of programmers and developers all the time, and just the initiative to try something new and entrepreneurial off of an existing business or existing curiosity or interest. I'm doing a part, and I'm trying to focus on making the overall pie bigger. And I think that that's going to be more useful to me, because I've talked to crypto people for 3 years or 4 years now, and people that have a bag already that might be wrecked, it might be under what they bought it at, but they're not going to say that out loud. Just like, you know, the people that go to Vegas don't talk about their losses.
I just don't think the energy's there in new onboarding. I get it. I understand it. I know it's good for crypto, and that's what we've all been doing for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But it's failed. FOMO is what gets people in. FOMO.
Right.
It's FOMO. When somebody at work tells somebody at work that they just made 20 grand this weekend in crypto, that gets people interested in crypto.
Exactly.
I've got a CD that you can ladder and try and create passive residual income from that, and it works like a bank CD. Does not get people into crypto. I'm sorry, it doesn't, and that's why Richard went the way he did with all of his scammy stuff that people see and don't like. But it's the truth. It's what people look at. People don't care about how good crypto is and all that. I mean, it's a FOMO event, getting people to mass adopt.
I'm here for the gains.
Look what happened in 2017. The price was going through the roof. When it hit 16, 17,000, there were more people coming in every day than there was when it was at freaking $1. That's right. And that's just the mentality of people. That's just how people act. And if we think that we're going to get people into Hex by being do-gooders, because we're all doing it, believe me. I mean, I'm sitting there talking to people that, you know, I care about too, and I may bring a handful of them in, but I'm telling you, the movement of Hex, if we're going to talk about the movement of Hex, price go up and all that kind of stuff, it's got to happen from within. And we've got to get to these influencers, and we've got to get to the crypto community and make people look at Hex for what it really is, and not for what they're saying it is. because that's not doing us any good. We need people to pay attention to what is going on here within our community. And one of the other things is just the people alone. What I've noticed was when I was watching Richard's stream with Hexologist was that everybody in the community is just very tactful, very empathetic. Hexo even said it. He said a lot of military guys, a lot of people that look at this in a different way, and so I've seen Jim saying it too. Same type of thing, same type of people that have a different kind of outlook. We saw something in Richard differently than a lot of other people seen something in him. We looked at this project differently, not because we understood what Hex was all about, but because we liked what we were hearing from Richard, because we liked how he was explaining it, because we liked how he approached it, because we liked the sensitivity he had to what was going on in crypto. And he was strong and harsh with people who opposed him, and very smart and intellectual about it. Yet he did it with kid gloves. He put his arm around him and punched him in the stomach and said, "Look, you stupid fucker, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show you that this trading shit is wrecking you, that crypto went the wrong direction, and I'm going to put it in the right direction. And here's what I'm making for you. Here, you stupid motherfuckers." And that's how he did it. And that rubbed a lot of people wrong, but it resonated with some of us. And that's why we're all here. And that's why there's so many good YouTubers. And that's why there's so many good people in the community. That's why there's guys like Hexo that are doing shows every day to show people what Hex is all about. And, so all of the things that Richard put in front of us has created this community, has created this cryptocurrency that we call Hex. And the world of crypto needs to see it. They need to have it explained to them. They need to know, so that when these whales start moving and they start creating FOMO, people can come in and start learning. Because once the FOMO happens from the whales hitting, the people that are coming in are going to start to want to get it explained to them, because they won't care about the scam anymore. Because once the FOMO happens, they're going to come. They can look at it and call it a scam and all that stuff. But when the FOMO happens, they'll come, and they're going to need to have it explained to them. And once they get it explained to them and they see it like we did, then that's when more people are going to start adopting. I mean, that's just my 2 cents in my opinion.
That's a good point.
Yeah. The one thing I do say is, like, I think when we're really going to get a lot of people into the project is when we get to a penny. I think people can sort of do mental calculations as like, oh, if I have this many and it goes to 10 cents, like they can do 10 and 100 X's in their brain when it's at a penny. But when we're at fractions of pennies, it's sometimes hard for people to kind of grasp that, even though like the percentage gains are like insane, like
but that's to be
multiplying with decimals.
Yeah.
Smart traders and smart people should be looking at that like, I gotta buy that shit.
I know.
I gotta buy that shit. That's under a penny. That's under a penny. You know how much I can get for $1?
But look at all these. Look at all these YouTubers, the crypto YouTube sphere over the last 3 years. They have so many of the same qualities, and they have the same mindless, dumb people in the comments asking for the next big tip on the next big coin. And these aren't guys why is anyone taking financial advice from these guys anyway? You're gonna get wrecked just listening to these guys.
Right. Half of them have lost all their money anyway.
I mean, exactly right. Look how many projects all of these guys have shilled. And I watched some of them. Like
they don't talk about them no more.
Okay, I know. I watched one. I watched one just to give sarcastic remarks, and hopefully he'll come. Well, I'm not going to say any more on that. I won't bring any attention to his channel. But I try to do it in a way that's not hateful, but definitely sarcastic. Like, you'll see the light someday. You'll see the light someday.
So you can also look at, and again, what's this Einstein statement about hitting your head against the wall 1,000 times and expecting different results? Right?
Insanity.
Definition of insanity.
Yeah. So you can look at, like you just said, I've seen these YouTubers, I've heard these stories, I've seen these influencers come during the bull market, and I've seen them disappear during the bear, right? And then they resurface when they think there might be an opportunity to get clicks, get sponsorship, get whatever through their influence that they built. Whatever.
These guys are bottom feeders.
Yeah. So what I'm promoting is look at that. Look at these as examples, and look at Richard as an example, and look at the leadership. Like, people like to talk about, I don't want to hate on Litecoin too much, but who's an example of someone that you would listen to on a regular basis when it's on YouTube? Oh, this guy's talking. Is he talking on stage? Is it a format that's like spoon-fed and prepared? Or is it off the cuff because this is a smart person to listen to? And is it something that's highbrow technology that I really don't relate to? Or is it about price go up? And why does price go up? Because of human beings. And what's the psychology behind what motivates human beings? There's so much nuance. There's cold hard fact about what Richard presents. There's also nuance about how he presents it. There is a lot of stuff that he actually says in a way that primes your brain to receive that information or that knowledge. A lot of people like myself, I may be cynical at a certain age or a certain level of experience in life.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
I could never have guessed that.
I'm not the naive virgin 16-year-old anymore, So there's a story that behind everyone's eyes, so to speak. And I think that Richard's really able to not just communicate with that individual, and that's why he does choose the platform of YouTube or Twitter or whatever. Is it multiplies his impact. It multiplies the out of 10,000 people that listen, that see that tweet or that pay attention to that video loop or whatever, or watch that view. It's going to resonate with certain ones, and other ones it's going to turn off for whatever reason. They're going to filter it out for whatever bias that they might have. But there's knowledge inside of it about what's this 20-80 rule? 20% of your
Pareto's law.
Yeah, so this
80-20 rule. Yeah,
you have to look and scale, and he's always thinking about what can I do that's going to 10x scale. What's can I do that's going to 100x scale, right? So that's another thing he points out about shorting a market. The most that you can do is if you're shorting something is go all the way down to zero. Whatever the price is, you can short it to zero. But if you're longing something, you can X, you can multiple, and
you can only two times it.
2x on a short versus multiple X on a long.
Right. So, I just started to look at these things in a scale. And again, that's what everybody that wants to run any kind of Silicon Valley unicorn, that's the first thing that they're concerned about. The first pushback that a VC has is, that's a good business model, but it won't scale. It can't scale for these reasons. So you have to look at scale more than you look at, I'm going to take, winning from this neighbor. You have to look at scale. Yeah.
It's just how many users are in the ecosystem, and then I'm sorry.
Oh, nothing. I'm just talking to myself. Senior moment.
You have a lot of
senior moment.
He's got voices in his head even when we're not here.
So everybody was saying that we weren't on Dlive. We are on Dlive, and everybody. I fucked up. I got 2 Dlives. So I got RG3 _ crypto _ pirate. And then I got RG3 _ pirate. So that one is where we're streaming at, RG3 _ pirate. And I see that people are starting to get in there. So it is working. That's cool. I'm glad that's working.
And just pay attention to the paid subscribers on the deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, funding.
We're just trying to find as many stream sources as we can, so that when YouTube shuts us down, we'll have some
bonds.
It's so successful for Hexo. I want to start pushing people over there, because I know it's only a matter of time before we're shut down, because this is not going well, to be honest.
Hey Jim, I heard you say something about you're taking some of the rental income. You get paid weekly on some of the properties you own. How are you laddering? Are you laddering that, or just doing maybe like a 1-year stake, or how? I didn't hear that part of the conversation.
Yeah, so I'm treating it as freemium. I'm already charging them a fiat rate, a dollar rate, and then I'm essentially refunding by onboarding them onto Hex and giving them Hex. So it's not that I'm profiting any different than I was. I just raised the margin and the margin is covering the fact that I'm onboarding and they are getting Hex they don't realize they paid for.
Got it.
And then they see a number. This is the whole reason why Bitcoin claims are free. There's a reason. The 42% of Bitcoin is whales, 2,000 people. If you can get a few of them, 1, 2, to participate in the Hex ecosystem, you move the price greatly. So the reason isn't because they're going to get 10%, and that 10% is going to have some kind of free cash to them. They're really probably not even concerned with that. What they're going to do is they're going to be locked and have to look at a price chart for a year. So what you care about is the freemium, because just like a game of whatever, he talks about all these games that have a freemium kind of app, and you get involved, and now you're stuck because now you want to pull out your phone and look at that, participate in that, speed up the game. I mean, he understands the psychology, just like casinos do. There's a reason why you hear bling, 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 ting, 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 and there's a tension over here, is because it triggers part of your psychology to participate with your own money.
Right. We're in the game of whales.
So thanks for the ice cream brand. We're getting ice creams and lemons now.
All right.
You're getting special requests for horse videos.
I was gonna say, where's the dildos and fleshlights is really what should be getting thrown around over there.
The ice cream cones might be a substitute for different icons.
Man, isn't there something like illegal about something really smutty or horrible using children
sure that part's
stuff
illegal.
to I don't know. I just feel like we're gonna dirty the place.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
I think you're gonna have to put like your backdrop. Is that green screened RG3? Is your Discourse printed, or is that? No,
that's just a JPEG thrown back there on the. If you go to the brand, it's got your background, and then you've got your foreground. You could throw the intro video on, and so all that. So what I did though is I stuck this whole thing in OBS, and I kind of Hexo did it today with his stream. He was using StreamYard too to get Richard on the stream with him and stuff. And but what I did was I stuck this in OBS, and what I'm going to be able to do, and hopefully I can work that out this week. So next FN Hangout we can do one more streamer. So I'm going to be able to put myself in OBS mode like Hexo does on his show. And then I could just put 6 of you guys up here and let you guys have at it versus only 5 at a time. So we can go 6 at a time. So we add another person basically. And then I can do other stuff that I'm not able to do in StreamYard. I like StreamYard a lot. It's very plug and play. It's not taxing my PC. But I got a new iMac. Well, I brought it from upstairs to office, so now it's not in the kids' room, and it's like it can handle it. My poor little MacBook Pro couldn't handle OBS. OBS was like still running. It's just like
emulating. It's doing a lot of stuff to basically pretend it's a window.
Yeah, and even this like the background here doing the running the backgrounds taxes your PC, man. I mean, we did that 24-hour stream, man. My computer's about fried, man. That thing was. It was dying, man. I was putting cooling pads underneath them.
So I think you're going to be coming to Puerto Rico in January. I think I heard you say. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm well, depending upon price go up. I've got it figured out. I've been looking at real estate, and I've been looking at talking to people. So definitely, off stream, want to get with you on that and talk to some folks out there about setting up some things. And that's going to be my plan, man. I'm loving it, man. I've been YouTubing the shit out of Puerto Rico and just looking at the surf and the beaches and the food. And man, I want some fungal, baby. I want some fungal.
If you're a surfer, like the whole west side of the island, Rincon and
Rincon. That's what I'm looking at Rincon. But I've read a lot of stuff about the real estate is really it's a whole different experience than out here in the States. The way you buy is a lot more handshaky and sketchy and banky.
Contracts. It's the
really
same contracts. Everything is in English. They have to be bilingual, basically, as far as any legal contracts. So all the same laws, all the same financing. You can get a VA loan the same as you would be in California.
But I heard like the earnest money situation and all that was kind of a little different in how they handled that. No,
I don't know about that. Again, if you're VA or not.
No, I wouldn't do a VA. I'd go conventional.
Yeah. So if it was a second home or if it was a resident, I mean, again, depends on why you're going. If you're going, and we can talk a different time, you can DM me.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of investment opportunities that are also opportunity zones. So there's like certain places in the world that are opportunity zones, and certain parts of Puerto Rico count. So yeah, DM me.
There's this guy. What the hell's his name? He's like overseas investor or something on YouTuber, and he just talks about investing into international real estate and where you can get the best yield for your real estate and everything. I'll send you a link later, RG3, about that. That guy's pretty cool, and he tells you the best like passports as well.
Yeah. Well, the 2022, the Act 20 and 22 thing is what I'm really, really interested in, and of course, I've got now 6 months to really set up an online business of some type that I'm working on now. So I want to go all out and get it set up, and because I'm like YouTubing all of the island videos and from the foodies to the surfers to the just going around, the hikers and all that. And there's Puerto Rico's a cool place, man. I dig it.
Dude, I got to connect you with I have a friend that lives in Jamaica, and he has it's not a real one, but it looks like a pirate schooner. Hey,
if we hit like a nickel, don't think I'm not gonna have me a fucking pirate ship.
Yeah,
man. I'm gonna have me a pirate ship.
Bay, and I'll have to introduce you to him.
Just don't catch scurvy, man.
No, I want to have plenty of lemons, baby. Plenty of lemons. Keep the lemons coming, guys.
Where's all the eggplants at?
So here's another thing that kind of feeds into what I was saying about Hex is you can be entrepreneurial. There's never been a better time for you to be entrepreneurial, especially in the digital space.
Yes.
Conventional businesses, conventional centralization of workers into even high-tech areas like Silicon Valley. I am getting so much feedback that's shifting, that the culture is shifting to decentralize. And if you work at a factory, you work at a hospital, you work somewhere where you have to be there because that's the only place you can do that kind of work, then fine. You have to go to where the MRI is because you're not going to put it in your living room. But if you have any interest, any curiosity in any kind of digital skill, be a Photoshop, or be a video editor, be a CPA, be a lawyer, be a psychologist, anything like that, you can interact through the internet just like we are doing right now. You can build a whole business around it. And my point is, before, you might have had to also consider liability insurance, employees, slippage, rent on your office space. All of that is overhead. Now, think about that business that required overhead and the fact that you now wouldn't have the overhead. Well, why wouldn't you utilize that cost would have been built into your business of overhead and utilize that to either onboard people into Hex, build in margin that basically educates and call it your own small fund, your small kickback or benefit to the community as a whole.
Yeah,
making that pie bigger. So that's why
I was thinking of that. I was thinking of some time. I don't know what the legal ramifications of setting up a crypto asset investment company would be like. There might be some. I don't know if there's some regulations that that we might not be able to participate in because of them or whatever.
Well, again, so Puerto Rico is very interesting because in California, operating real estate, working pretty high figure employment for two different hospitals, I made really good W-2 income. I made great rental income, and I lived in California. Okay, all of that had yield, but all of it had massive taxation too. All of it had overhead. All of it had maintenance. All of it had employees, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't really realize, because it's part of the bubble we're born in. Not the bubble. It's part of the way we're born into being raised in whatever state or culture, or raised by your family and your peers as workers. You don't really realize how much of your pay goes out the door. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't support government. I'm not saying, streets and highways and militaries and all the needs of big government are necessary. I feel that they are necessary to a degree, but there's so much that's slippage and just waste.
Mm-hmm.
And to take control of your own finances also means understanding that you have a responsibility to cover certain costs instead of asking government to do it for you.
Yeah.
Part of that overhead, I think, can be put into something like if you go through Puerto Rico, you go through Act 2022, if you basically live in a relatively low-cost place as far as a cost of living, all of that income that you can still build an entrepreneurial digital e-business, e-commerce, all of the income, yeah, you may amplify your income, but you can also utilize those funds in the Hex environment, in the laddering environment, build your pension, your 401k out of it. It may be completely speculation. It may all go to zero. Keep that in mind. But I think that there's never been a better leverage opportunity for multiplying your time effectively.
Yeah. Well, and let's be honest, taxes are definitely our biggest expenses.
Yeah.
So I recommend everybody read this.
Absolutely.
How to build your wealth tax-free.
Absolutely.
And
the power of zero.
Absolutely. And it takes planning to do that, though. And so if you're going to do this,
I've got to read that.
You got to start moving forward quick, especially if big payday ends up being an actual big payday.
Yeah.
But I think you're doing the right things, RG3, by looking ahead.
Yeah. I wanted to bring something up here. So we got Hexologist here. He's in the house. The man
bring him in.
Well, no, he's not coming in on the stream. I think he's at work. But I wanted to show some. He just said something really awesome. It probably should go right under Discourse Syndicate and asinine alliteration. I kind of like that tagline.
Asinine alliteration.
Thanks, Hexologist, for the recommendation, man.
I don't know if he was talking to me when I was opening my mouth or what, but
they were talking about toilet paper rolls.
Oh,
holy gosh.
That's the only thing I remember from the stream, unfortunately.
That was intentional on purpose.
Yeah, I bet it was.
So what I didn't get to catch all the show. I do, like I said before, I do my sister's show on Fridays, and then I get to go on here. So I don't get to see Hexo's Friday show, but I better turn this off. Thanks. Oh, let me thank everybody real quick. Hey, Bran, thanks again. Bran sent us a diamond. Cosmonaut Hex sent us a bunch of lemons, and some more from Bran. So you guys are in the chat over there. I've got to turn this off because I got like 2 computers running now, and it's not helping things out anymore. Yeah. Where were we? What were we talking about?
TP rolls.
Toilet paper rolls. Now, why do we always got to freaking devolve here? I know I'm the biggest problem.
We gotta
I'm the biggest problem of devolving the conversation. Jim's kind enough to come in here and try and straighten us out a little bit and talk like a normal human being, and then we got to bring our toilet humor right in on top of him and just flush it.
Well, we have to have discourse. This is discourse.
Yeah, we're always TPing his house.
Very good.
We always TPing the stream.
Stream. I know. I thought for
I don't
sure.
want to see where those popsicles have been.
Right. I mean, I got so many DMs about the horse thing. Was like, oh my God, dude, you gotta edit that out. I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it.
You gotta have like one of those backgrounds that's like a find where's Waldo, or where's the inappropriate icon or something like that, like hidden in the fabric behind it.
Inappropriate.
It was just on a phone. You didn't. It was from who was on the stream with you?
Randy Kolarski.
Randy Kolarski did. He's like, "Oh, sorry, bro."
I know you explained it, RG, exactly what was the vet and so forth, but it was like we showed that. It was like, damn.
Dudes, I'm so excited for my 6-year stakes when they start coming. Like, undone, dude. Oh,
that
my
was
God,
a quick
man.
switch from
I know,
working
I
to
know.
6-year stakes. I guess long is what you're talking about, right?
Long and thick, I guess. Yeah.
Long and thick.
Got to get the 10% bonus, baby. You know.
Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, your best bet is 3,000. What is it? 3,641 days. Is that what the
Yeah.
3641
Yeah,
gets you there?
40.
So here's I'm old school.
Yes.
Dude, he's got
I
a
love it.
Yes.
This is 10,030 to 10,035, and I'm going backwards, of course. So here we go. I put it. It's all in pencil in case I got to change it. But
Yeah, I've been
You see it?
doing that. Yeah, I did the same thing. I got my little notebook over here that I've been building my.
If you look at Silver the Antidote and you freeze the image on his spreadsheet, he's got really good spreadsheets. I mean, he doesn't like allow you to download them or something, but you can see how all of his fields are constructed. And you can make a really accurate ones on.
I think is that the guy who sent me?
He participates sometimes in these chats, but it's Silver the Antidote if you look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I think he might have sent me a spreadsheet. Somebody sent me a bitchin' spreadsheet. I mean, all the stuff is in it. You just plug your number in there, and it calculates everything. It's really cool. I haven't used it, but
yeah.
So a lot of us think about like the value, like okay, if you got in Bitcoin way back when, then it's worth X. And we think about this hockey stick of something that becomes more valuable over time. And if you held all of it, okay, yeah, you made crazy amount, but it's hard to resist not to sell into 2X, 3X, 4X, whatever, right. Some half of your stack, get back to normal and, and kind of just cut and dilute yourself over time. And what his was about was more about assuming you have to make still assumptions that we're not going to go into dollar hyperinflation or something like that. But he still says he wants a measured amount coming out every month in a dollar term. So he's trying to make calculations about like how a pension or a Social Security or a 401k would have a payout, but it wouldn't have a hockey stick of payout. It would have, meeting or slightly being above what's estimated to be
inflation,
cost of living inflations, right? Yeah. So he's got interesting graphs on, and he's saying, about you can put in less over time as the performance of the as far as dollar amount, as the performance of Hex model changes, but you have to do your own math and understand his point of view.
Right.
Yeah,
that's why I've been doing the going from 2035 down, and of course as you go down you've got to add more in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to keep a certain, I've got a fixed amount because I want to cover in my head I want to cover like actually the majority of time, and then if I have extra, because we have some time before November, I'll go back and then I'll kind of hit a quarterly here, a quarterly there, kind of beef it up. But I like that monthly because it's consistent. It works, and it'll always work in my world because it's kind of used to that. And I'm 9 years from retirement, which is like great timing for all this for me. So I'm just like to do a nice little monthly kind of And I'm considering it play money. What I'm putting in right now, but it would be nice to more than that. But it's kind
the longer those stakes are, it stops being play money, man, because it just you keep getting more and more and more.
Right.
I think Mr. Orange was saying something earlier about it, but someone else might have said it. But so there's been a lot of people that I've heard and I've seen that are ending stake, that come to an epiphany. They end stake after they've met their 50% level. They decide to restake for further out or set them instead of one big stake into multiple stakes. So they're kind of learning as we go over this past 6 months of adoption. And I wonder if anybody can do some kind of model example, maybe good texture, because he's really good about this stuff.
Well, I just did that for a 5-year ladder of I'm thinking that I'm going to utilize the first couple of years of a ladder as passive residual income is my thought versus all the big stakes that I had set up. So I was able to take some and push it to the end, to push it to 10, 15 year stakes. and then create this ladder. And in doing so, earning, 1 or 30% more shares total over the span of all my shares. So it was huge. It was a huge, monstrous move to do that. And then also create 5 years of passive residual income. And, even if Hex is just at a penny or so, this was, going to be a decent income. So I was like, okay, cool, man. That's, even at what I'm considering worst case scenario to be a penny, this is going to create, a living. I can go to Puerto Rico. I can look for property. My bigger stakes are going to, be able to take care of stuff like that. So yeah, I did that. And that's, it took me a couple of days because I looked at Ryan's, staking ladders. Of course, his are like freaking gorgeous, but I took the concept, and what he did was he was doing them every week. And then every month he would have a big stake come out, and then he'd do them every week and then have a bigger stake come out in the month. So I did them every month. And then on after the third month, on the fourth month, I put a big stake in and then did 3 more small months and then a big stake on the fourth month. So like having 3 bonuses in the year and then having a monthly income coming out on the other months is how I built a 5-year staking ladder for what I'm calling my passive residual income ladder. And I just wanted to do one for 5 years because, I mean, for me, that's all I'm thinking I'm going to need that type of income for. And then the rest of it for me is going to be, it's retirement time. If you're 20 or something like that, you might want to consider building a longer one. You're 30, building a longer one. I measured it for myself and figured, 5 years would be a good one.
Well, I think a lot of people, like if you look at the chart and you look at what stakes and when they're ending, there's just a ton of people that are right after big payday. And that is because of this motivation to say I can 2 or 3x my original stack. And I want to advise people, I think I said this before, about diversification. And that might mean having more than one hard wallet, more than one wherever you're going to distribute. You say, okay, my stake is going to end. It's going to be at like, for example, some people might be at big payday and they're going to have a big stack that comes available then. I would like to see more people talk about the ideas of taking, say it's a big stack and you divide it into 3. And this is this MetaMask, and it has its own set of seeds, and it's a certain hard wallet.
And that's what I did also.
These kinds of diversifications, right? And then the other question that I have really for the group is, if someone has a pretty sizable stake that ends right at big payday or right after, which I think if you look at the chart, there's just a lot of people that do. Would it be wiser to early end stake because your early end stake share rate is different versus wait till the completion and then redistribute your winnings, so to speak, over time? So is it better to early end stake and have the early end stake with penalty, or if there is penalty, and set all of those future stakes divided to all receive big payday versus waiting till after big payday and dividing after big payday the single stake? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I did that as far as going back to your first part of the question was I diversify. I had everything sitting in one MetaMask, and then I started to realize about, well, on top of having the fat stakes in the beginning, that was kind of a mistake too. But there's something to be said about having too many wallets too, because then you expose yourself to other risks of now you've got 2 wallets to take care of versus the 1 wallet. But then again, to save yourself from hacking, phishing, any kind of other thing that might happen to you,
Right.
Having 2 wallets in different browsers is good. So I created 4 wallets. One of them's just one for streaming and stuff that has really nothing in it. The other 3 are my, important stakes. One is going to be set up for my passive residual income stake, which is a 5-year laddered stake coming out monthly. The other ones are, one of them is my life events stake, where, I have certain life situations that I think are going to come up that I want to have funds for. And then another one is just kind of it was like my 15-year and long stakes, my old long stake wallet. And that one I put I put them all on stainless steel. I put all of the seed words on stainless steel. I have an engraver, so I did it in my garage, and then those are going in my safe with paper backups. And then I moved everything off of my PC, and it's all of my operations, anything that I look at, anything that I connect my MetaMask to, I'm putting on to one PC that I'm not using anymore, basically for taking it anywhere or using it on Wi-Fi or any of that kind of stuff. So I've kind of separated. I took everything off of my other PCs and went to one PC.
Another thing to keep in mind is a lot of people think that they need to be multimillionaires to live a terrific lifestyle.
Yeah.
You really don't. And I'm not saying that you have to be scrimping and all these things like that. But once your cost of housing is taken care of, like you paid off your house, if you're going to have a house in one location, or if you're going to rent that house out behind you and you live other places on, basically starting an LLC, and you have to travel because you're running your LLC. You can rent your house, your property behind you, and you have to live somewhere else to operate your e-business. You can actually set it up to where it's tax deductible. It basically it's part of the business operation cost for you to have housing remotely. So there's all kinds of structures to look at. And when people look at, not to make it overcomplicated, but basically your real cost of living is the calories that you consume in a month, the transportation that you consume in a month. What's the cost of your transportation? I'm not talking Ferraris and Bentleys. I'm just talking what's your cost of real transportation. And a lot of people have this idea that they have, and again, I've been in Silicon Valley for a long time. You feel like you have to make hundreds of thousands of dollars because it's a reality to live in these areas. But if you untether yourself, or you basically reduce that monthly nut that you've got to crack because you paid off your property, or you paid off where you're going to live, or you really don't have to have that much operating cost every month. You really don't.
Yeah. No, I agree. I've looked at it too. It's like, it's not, well, I mean, my situation will be a little different, supporting household in Southern California, and trying to do something else outside. But anyway, hey, what's happening, Brand? Look at you all flexing and getting sexy for everybody. Really? There's no girls in here, bro. What is this shit?
Hey, yeah.
You are kind of cute, though.
Yeah. He's too cute for prison.
He's expanding.
No. He'd be just fine. Just fine. So what's up, sexy?
Not much, man. Just chilling.
You better turn your volume up too. You sound like a.
Yeah, you're just talking without a headphone.
Oh shit, it was music.
Oh man. All that new gear, and it doesn't even work.
Yeah, I should have got the volume going. Can you guys hear me better now?
Sounds like you're in the bathroom.
Not much, man. It sounds like you're it sounds like you're in prison. Sounds like you're in prison.
All right. Let me fix this.
Go put a shirt on too. You're making me hot.
Trying to show off those guns, man.
Hey, he is.
You guys know where the gym is?
I got 2 tickets to the gun show. Yeah. I'm so excited about staking.
Yeah, what jump out and then jump back in. That might fix it. It usually fixes whatever goes on with Litecoin.
I am too. I'm pretty excited about it. So I kind of had a similar strategy to Orange, is trying to get a monthly set amount of hex that expires, and thanks to Big Payday, as you go farther out, you only have to stake, a fraction of what you did a year out to get that same result.
Right.
And I like that.
So Good Texture said a little minute ago, He said, and by the way, get your ass in here, dude. You're supposed to be in here.
Where's the Sergeant of Arms at?
Yeah, my freaking
Did a
Sergeant
stream
Arms.
Lord
It
Psyop.
says he said something up here. He said what he said was your big payday will greatly offset any losses you're going to have
on the rising share price.
However, I agree, but as you stake out longer,
yep,
the longer pays better, and the interest that you gain, which I've heard some people say up to 80x is what some of the mathematics is showing. Right. That's where I think the big difference is those longer stakes and putting some out 10, 15 years. That's where and even at 15 years, you don't get any bonus after the 3,640 days or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You don't get any bigger of a big payday bonus or any of that after, but the interest that you're gaining is, greatly multiplying those next 5 years. So there's a lot to be said about the value of what your bags are going to look like, out and longer.
And there's no way to calculate. I'm sorry, but there's no way to calculate how many end stake bonuses or emergency end stake bonuses you're going to get. That's
and that's 15 years of it.
So you could emergency unstake yourself and give yourself the exact amount of shares, or there might be a strategy where you can emergency unstake, take a portion of your 25% of your stack. Let's say you had 100,000, take 25,000 hex, leave it in your wallet, stake that 75,000 hex, and then just stake it to a length until you hit the exact amount of shares you got. And technically, I think you'd still gain more because of the emergency unstake bonuses. So even though your shares are the same, I think overall you probably have a bigger bonus.
And who knows what happens? I mean, and this is just a what if, what if grasshoppers had machine guns, then birds wouldn't fuck with them, right? I mean, it's like what if is what if, whatever, it doesn't matter. But what if year 10 fucking hex moons or something? It's just like blast off and you have 12, 13, 14, 15 year stakes that are sitting there that are so fat and ripe and juicy and just oozing and just you know what? I'm out. I gotta take a bite of this. It's my, I mean,
it's part of the business person's mentality that's different than the consumer mentality. The business person is, Elon Musk could do this at any time. There's all kinds of people that can build value into something, and they will be tempted by liquidation. But the drive isn't usually that I need $10 billion of cash right now, and therefore I'm going to sell everything I've got, or that I need 10 million, or that I need 1 million, or that I need 100,000. The number that you need is very attractive when it comes to what's on rap videos. Oh yeah, that seems like that'd be great. It needs a crazy amount of money. I need that right now. And it's so tempting to basically liquidate. But I think that's why so much thought went into a ladder system, a staking system. I mean, just so many things that were developed in the product, the contract that sits on Ethereum right now. So it's juicy and it's great for dream building, but it's really not necessary, because you do. Elon has to say, well, I'm done with everything I'm going to do with Tesla. I'm going to completely get out. Or Charlie Lee says, I'm going to completely get out.
What they do?
I'm going to give Litecoin shit sometimes about Charlie Lee. It's like, okay, I'm still developing product.
Rumor is, guys, that Charlie sold all his Litecoin. So
you're not
he sold the top. Bro. It's been a freaking
all-time highs, bro.
Gaining. Yeah. It's been a gaining rumor ever since.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, it really is a testimony that I don't think that there's more upside, right? I don't think there's more upside, so I better get out now while it's at the peak, or I'm not going to contribute somehow to that ecosystem more, and I'm going to do other things. That's the only reason I can see for selling out. It's the same. I would sell a house that I'm never going to live in. I'm never going to utilize. I'm like, okay, I'm not utilizing that anymore. So it's kind of a hard thing to fathom.
It's so it's hard to.
But it's
juicy.
It's nature. It's what they do. It's what people we'll see, and people will make those mistakes. They will be doing that. Now, what if a bunch of them do that? And what is that going to create? And what is that going to do for your big old bags?
Some emergency unstaking mania.
And for the holders, and remember, Hex is made for the holders.
Yep.
So if that does happen, those 15-year holders are going to be sitting so freaking nice. Oh, here's Sexy's back.
Can you guys hear me okay now?
No, we can't hear
Even
you,
more
man.
guns showing. Only 1% of the 10-year stakes that are out right now are going to make it.
Yeah, I believe
and and of that percentage, right, there's going to be like maybe 5% that I think it's going to be sort of a lie. There's going to be like 10% of the total supply of those stakes are still going to be in the contract, but what's going to happen is I think that they're going to be they're going to bleed out, and they're not going to claim anything. And then the real people who are going to make all the money off of those stakes are year 11. So I've been doing a little. I've been adding some of year 11s to my mix and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think year 11 ones are good too. That's where a lot of mine went.
I've been doing nothing but 6 to 15. That's what I've been doing so far now, because I was like I'm pretty stacked up pretty well from 1 to 5, and my 5 to 15 are pretty good too. But I just like let me really let me get the shares right now.
He won't come on to defend himself, but I think Good Texture's staking out for 12 years because it's a multiple of 3, and the Hollow Moon told him to do it. So
the Hollow Moon told him to do it.
So let me do a 4D chess move right here.
He's feeling a little puny tonight, guys. So leave GT alone.
Are you guys serious that you can't hear me?
Very lightly.
So weak.
Okay,
It's like
Just
so weak.
turn
It
the
does
knob,
not
dude.
match your muscles. It's like very, very, very.
Your
I
ability
think
to
Into
keep
the Fire
beers.
was right. He asked if Brand did 20 push-ups before he came on.
And that's his little brother's T-shirt too.
Poor Brand.
No, but if you sort of think about it, like so I think a lot of people are probably going to overstake on 4, 8, 12 stakes, right? Because they think that they're timing the actual happening, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
But if you look at the run up in 2017, that was a year and a half after the happening.
Exactly.
So people are looking at it the wrong time.
Exactly. So so you'd be better off doing like 6 or 5. Well, not 6 or 5. It's like almost in between.
The pump.
So the pump.
Wait.
The pump.
That's
The
new
pump is
name,
strong.
That's Brand's new name, the Pump.
Oh,
Pump.
good. Can you guys hear me okay now?
No. I'm
No.
doing 369, 3693 for 3693 days.
I love it.
I did 420 for
That's
420, bro.
numerology right there for Fran. We can hear you, Fran. We're just messing with you, man.
Has anyone done 555 for 555? Probably,
yeah.
huh?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just throw a couple out there if I get a little extra. Yeah, I'm gonna pump that up. In fact, when I look at the graph, it's really funny. I've got everything. Of course, I staked poorly when I got into it. Everything's after big payday. Then you get this line. Dude, I got a little bump here. But then very last one, I'm like, shoo!
I literally don't. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. No. Yeah,
I literally think that the year 10s through 555 don't matter. It doesn't matter what share rate you're getting as long as you're getting in before big payday. So I think there's a big game theory thing of actually last day before big payday hitting that 555 stake. And even though the share rate is higher because people are going to emergency end stake for whatever dumb bullshit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's even if the share rate's like 2 or whatever, twice as high, you capture so much emergency end stakes over those 15.2 years that it makes it up. It makes it up like so many fold.
I never thought of that. And my thing too is like, okay, at the very end of here, 15 years, who's going to buy it after? You kind of like, okay, nobody could stake it anymore. So what else, what's going to happen? I don't know. I mean,
Wait.
You can still stake. You can still stake.
So it doesn't end as far as its staking ability. The contract is forever, as long as Ethereum exists. So you can. So from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong. Even when it says 555, at least what I've been doing is anything that's speculation winnings from other dApps or whatever it is that's built on Hex.
Yeah.
That speculation winning every day that pays out, then I put a 555 stake. And so that is $30, $50, whatever it is. And that is 555 every day that I post. So it's been building out like the past 20, 30, 40, 50 days, something like that. That that money is going 555 every time. And that, from what I understand, is even after payday, you can still be doing 555 stake.
You can.
Yeah.
Who the hell's
Who's got the jackhammer?
I think it's some people shooting.
Hey, so there was something I want to talk about. I don't know how much about it you guys know, but Hex Business had a launch this week, and I think they're one of the most successful dApps that's built on Hex right now, and they had a successful launch. They did it really quick, and they really engaged with their community, and I just wanted to give them a shout out for that, because I watched them closely to see, because of course in this situation where the network goes down and coins get changed and you change exchanges and you change websites and you do all that stuff, I mean, that's an undertaking, man. I was nervous for those guys. I thought, man, if they're not exit scamming, if they're this is a hell of a deal that they're putting themselves through right now. And to do it as quickly as they did it and as smooth as they did it says a lot for them and what they're doing. Because I've always liked the utility. I'm not going to say that I know that was very risky, that they had a lot of hold on one second, guys. They had a lot of issues with, I'm getting a good texture might be coming in here. So let me give him a link real quick. Gosh, dang it.
Well, I hear the contract is an immutable code now. It's not manually
exactly.
anymore.
That was the risk before, that they didn't have an immutable code.
They were the counterparty.
Right.
So yeah, let me send that to good texture. I think that's right. So so they had that issue going on at first. Then they launched the new V2 and moving it over, and there was all kinds of crazy stuff going on in the background. Like literally people were creating other coins to get people to buy them with their same name and shit. On Uniswap, and people were trying to sell the dead coin. Like there was like a period of time where the dead coin, you were able to sell it, but I mean it dropped like really quick, and you had to like really like catch it right at the split second that it did that. So some people got to sell or whatever, but I mean all in all, and I think one of their guys was even accused, and I don't know if it was there you are.
There he is.
Oh, it's midnight. I'm sleepy.
And so I don't know if it was their one of their guys got accused of being a scammer, and I don't know if it was somebody hacked his account or whatever. And so that was going on in the middle of all of it. I mean, it was just chaos, pandemonium, and they still launched and they did great. And I used their functionality to see how it works, and it worked, and hooked to MetaMask and all the things that they said were going to happen. Now you can transfer different cryptos there. So you got USDC, DC, you've got Hex, you've got Hexi, and you've got ETH that you can actually trade on their platform, transform on their platform. So my hat's off to them. They did a good job on their platform. What's up? Did we wake you up there, sweetheart?
No, he's at work at a call center.
Hey, can y'all hear me on this thing?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. You know what? That thing sounds great. If you it's so sensitive that, like you said, if you just pull, you don't have to get it close to you. If you pull it away from your beard like that, so it's not rubbing on it. Now talk.
How about that? How's that sound?
A little closer. Get it a little closer.
How about that?
Right there,
How about
baby.
that?
Oh,
I can
Look,
hear your
guys,
stakes on
I'm
stake.
going to put
Now,
Bran up
how
here
about
with
that?
you just so I can hear you talk and look at him.
Look, so this
Well,
headset I got right here.
I'm gonna pull my.
This
He's
headset I
gonna
got.
uninvite himself.
Where's RG3 at? He's disappeared.
Over here.
He exit scammed us.
Exit scammed his own stream.
Yeah.
Look, the story of this headset though, I look like I am manning a spacecraft right now, and there's a reason for that. There's a good reason for that, because we are about to pump, so I have to look like I'm manning a spaceship.
That's right.
Control
To the moon.
That's right.
Catch me outside. How about that?
That's right.
I'm sorry, Brand. Stick around for a minute, though, Brand. Don't go nowhere. We'll pull you back up, buddy.
There's our
gotta
captain.
fuck you. So I had to see you two together. I had to hear your voice and watch him. It was just like a little thing that I like.
Yeah.
To do.
This sounds kind of weird, RG3.
It's not weird. I'm old, dude. I'm old.
You ain't
You've already
old.
tried everything else.
You're-
experimenting phase.
No.
Yeah.
Is that a gray bush thing or what?
Gray bush?
You guys.
Dude. Oh my god. Dude, we're all gonna be all white hair. Can you imagine in 15 years when we're actually unstaking our 15-year stakes?
I'm not. I'm gonna look better. I'm gonna look better, motherfucker.
My vibe,
Through
baby.
reverse
My
engineering.
vibe.
Money does
Baby stem
amazing
cells.
shit, man. And I got a wife that's like, she's like full and gonna show me how to take care of all the snips and the cuts.
Do you
and
know
the-
how old Hex was still, or not Hex, Hef, Hugh Hefner, right? So he was like 89 or something like that. And he was still 3 girls, girlfriend kind of mansion lifestyle. So,
God bless
don't
Viagra.
count yourself out for a while.
That's true. Can you imagine, like, I've got no glasses at that point. My hair is even longer and darker.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna get my eyes fixed. I'm gonna grow my hair out.
One's blue, one's green.
I'm gonna be just. Hey man, money can do amazing things for you. It can make your life a lot different.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I think that's going to be a news event. I think when the first who's going to actually claim it's going to become like a big news event of these old accounts. Who is still around? Who's going to unstake the first 555 stake?
By that time, I'll probably look like one of the Bogdanov twins or something like that. All fixed up.
Wait, what? I don't know that reference
whatever.
at all.
The 2 guys are always saying like "pump it," all the meme.
Oh,
Yeah, we're all gonna look
Oh,
like that
no.
guy. That's for sure. We'll all have the dudes.
I'll let you scam the life before that, man.
They're like in their 70s, like 75 or something.
Freaking good Texter's beard will be down to his knees and shit.
Yo, I'm not gonna cut it. That's the new rule. I'm not gonna cut it.
Not gonna cut it.
Until 33 cents, right?
Not until 33
No.
cents.
No, 33 cents is coming pretty soon, y'all. It's not gonna. It's not. That's not a
Damn,
big.
you heard
Damn,
it first
no,
here
no,
on the
no.
Discourse Syndicate. Hey, bro. So riddle me this, Batman. So 33 cents, right? Now we
Yeah.
were talking earlier, and we were talking about onboarding new people, and you and I even chatted about it privately in chats about Black Swan events or major crypto money moving, and I know it doesn't take a lot of financial energy to move the price up in Hex, but 33 cents is a big move. That's quite. Now you and I had a discussion, and I asked you because I can't do the math. I'm literally like number dyslexic. It's horrible, but I asked you, but I know what is needed to do the math, and market cap from within crypto moving over to Hex to draw a price of 10, 20, 33 cents. Did you do any math on that? Did you do your homework like I asked you to?
Okay.
Nope.
I have
No math.
I have a question. So
I don't have any.
What is the price if everybody stakes?
Infinite.
What happens to the price if everybody stakes right now? Just the current holders.
It goes to a bajillion because there's no sell pressure.
There's no sell pressure, and there's like 3 coins left or whatever's out
Yeah.
there.
So you want to see the top of coin market cap beat Bitcoin? It would be.
Right.
It wouldn't even take that percentage. It would take what 50% staked. What would make the number go up and just even like wick up and be that number? What would be that news event? 50% of current coins staked. what
I
would
mean,
be-
once Roger Ver spills the beans and tells everybody that he got in early on Hex, and all these kind of people start spilling the beans, it's not going to take much.
I think he's in the ecosystem for sure, since he was one of the
Oh, they're
first big
all-
listings.
They're
You know,
all
he was
in.
one of the first listings. We got on Bitcoin.com trading. That was the
How
first place
many-
I ever bought any Hex.
How many people have 1,500 to 1,000 BTC? I mean, we're watching those come in like on the regular now. Like
Exactly.
every
Look,
few days, somebody's dropping some serious, and those are some names that are dropping that, or some
Yep.
really old folks.
Roger Ver is up in that ecosystem, in that Bitcoin ecosystem, telling all his buddies, look, guys, I'm going to tell you something and you better listen. There is a big old pump coming to Hex. These massive Bitcoin claims that are coming, we're seeing like thousands of coins a day.
Thousands a day.
Unbelievable. I mean, these are not just early adopters. These are mega giga whales that are doing this stuff. These guys have a lot of pull. And for them to be showing their hand and to be showing that they think it's reasonable to collect Hex, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It is a big deal. And we haven't talked about that yet. And that's been happening for like the last 3 weeks now. About 3 weeks that I've been noticing, like every once in a while, middle of the day, bink, 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 bink. Like, whoa, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 300, 300. Whoa. That's some fat Bitcoin claims coming in right there.
You know, what's interesting is the timing of something like that would be very interesting. Is so if you are a Bitcoin whale, maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 coins, whatever it might be, and you basically, you are smart enough that you're not going to hit the silly whale penalties and so forth. So you have to imagine that maybe these are broken up in single owner or whatever. But if you say to yourself, I am now auto staked for 12 months, when would be the time that you would choose to actually commit money or commit Bitcoin? Would it be early now and pump the price now? Or would it be like before those 90% stakes, right before those 90% stakes unlock? Because it seems like that'd be the better time. You have stakes that are going to be expiring 12 months away. Why wouldn't you look at the 11-month window to really amplify that game?
They're not sure that it's safe yet. They don't really probably want to dip their toes in the water too much until they know that it's safe, and they're not going to know that it's safe until it pumps again, and the next pump is going to dwarf the pumps that we've seen before.
Because how many of those guys are afraid that Richard wants to beat their ass? I mean, he's like, if I get in, man, this motherfucker gonna dump on me or some shit just to put me up, man. So there's some of that fear probably going on in there too.
Did y'all see how casually Richard talks about Hex being the #1 coin? Like that's already what he wants. Like that's already in the cards for him. Hex being #1 is I'm not going to say it's a guarantee to him, but that's what he's after. No question.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that's what I talked about it earlier in the stream. What we all saw in him was an honesty and a deep desire to build something good and not to, he wasn't talking smoke and mirrors. He wasn't talking around issues. He wasn't talking like he had something to hide. He was always very transparent, very upfront, laid all the ground rules out in the front. Hey, this is going to go to 0. It could go to 0. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's going to, pump, but this is how I built it. This is how cryptos are built. This is how I built this one. It's modeled after all of these very successful moves in crypto, and it's everything encompassed. And look at what else my brilliant ass did to it to make it even better, then other things happened, which made it exciting, like Uniswap, and all of those.
And the coincidence of Uniswap coming online at the same time, like if that is actually a coincidence and that actually wasn't planned, like that is some cosmic level coincidence because that system allows Hex to get hyper pumped. If we did not have Uniswap and we were only trading on like hit BTC or some stuff like that, I don't think the same I don't know that the same fundamentals to price pumping would be out there.
It'd be a completely different deal. That is for sure. Now, on the other hand, if it was planned, if it was coordinated, if it is something that we don't know nothing about and is super, super secret, holy fucking shit.
You know
what I mean? Who's behind that one? If that's the case.
Well, I mean, we don't even know who wrote the thing. We're being kept in the dark on who actually programmed it. You know, Hexologist did some amazing journalism earlier, asking, "Hey, Richard, can you tell me who wrote it?" And Richard's like, "Nope."
You know what's interesting is we walked through this FUD cycle in 2017 when Bitcoin Cash, BSV, the hash wars, all of that stuff. And that was basically just a fork or tribes trying to steal members from other tribes, saying, "Oh, we are the real," or whatever that whole story was in that narrative. That every YouTube influencer, Ivan and so forth, were commenting all the time, and kind of wallowed through that period. But differently, Hex is unique and completely unique in so many different ways that to get to number one, their strategy was to just maybe amplify or tweak one aspect of the Bitcoin core model and say, we will be faster, we will have work, our transactions will happen differently, but almost identical, versus something that really can get to the top of that coin market cap rating.
Exactly. I mean, look at. I'm sorry, Moses, but look at Litecoin. Total freaking garbage. And,
God! Here we go.
All it is, it's just like number one, Bitcoin is total garbage in itself. So basically, what they did was they took Bitcoin and they cloned it, and then they reduced the amount of pollution that it was creating. Which the killer app of Bitcoin is to create a shitload of pollution. Like that's what it's good at. And if you're a fork of Bitcoin and you're not creating that much pollution, you're not doing the job well. Like the more that's how you measure the greatness of a Bitcoin fork, is how much pollution it is creating. And Litecoin fails at that. They're not creating that much pollution, so it's like, what's the point? I don't get it.
The hash rate's increasing every day, I guess. It actually went up 25% the other day, which is pretty. Well, anyway.
You guys remember that movie from the 90s, Multiplicity, where every time it clones himself, the clone clones itself, and it gets dumber and dumber and dumber? Yeah. That's what a lot of these coins have done with themselves over the last 3 years.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Well, what I'm saying is, it was kind of competition of members. Like, my tribe will be bigger than your tribe because we're going to get members of your tribe to my side, versus completely changing the culture. It's not just tribalism. It's changing the culture of, it's not trade it until you make it because you got a bigger stack you took from other people. It's stake it because the mathematics are showing that you will have a bigger stack,
Man, and those mathematics are amazing. I saw somebody post in the chat a little while ago. That simulation that Kyle did, that was 80x in 10 years. And then Kyle himself said, well, we've been seeing a lot more penalties than my simulation accounted for. And he's like, I think that 80x is actually going to end up being a little low. And then that doesn't even take into account the extra 5 years that somebody might. So, if you actually take a 15-year stake, those last 5 years are going to have enormous gains compared to the first little bit. It's just because you're going to be like this massive whale in a tuna fish pond. I mean, it's going to be nuts.
So now, and another thing that I was thinking about too is when you emergency end stake before big payday, that looks like it hurts a lot more than what's going to emergency end stake after big payday. So people that adopt after big payday get in for a period of time, and they're like, oh man, and they got to get out. They want to get out. They're looking for a pump and a get out. I think that's going to happen more often than we're seeing now. I think that the big payday is deterring people from actually wanting to emergency end stake right now than what we're going to see in the future.
I agree with that.
Yeah. We're going to lose half our 10-year stakes by year 5.
I can't wait.
I mean, it's just
10 years is a long time for a young guy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, RG, do you have Brand standing by? I'm going to step out for a minute, so if he could talk.
All right, bud. Have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by.
I'll hop on the stream.
Always awesome.
I'll come back, but just when there's space again.
Okay. All right. Let's bring us super sexy.
Especially around your seats because like,
There he is.
Sexy
You back
bag.
to be able to hear me now.
Bro, we could hear you the whole time.
Okay,
we were
Big
just talking with you.
bomb. Big
Well,
bomb.
shit, dude. Because I'm not using this thing anymore. We're going.
We're going full video game on us, huh?
So hey, how'd you guys like the stream with Richard Hart and Hexologist? What did you think of that?
I was so busy I didn't get to see it. I can't. I'm gonna cuddle up with my pillow tonight and turn it on and listen.
I think me and Archie
30.
through just listening about gaming halfway through. Like,
Yeah, we got to the end of it and we were getting ready for the show and the end of it was about gaming and we were like, oh man, we missed all the juicy shit, you know. And I saw a couple of good textures text like how he was doing some awesome reporting and stuff. And
Yeah. Richard spilled the beans. You know, he said something which I already
I know you
knew.
caught. So what did you catch?
I mean, this is not new information to me, of course, but he revealed that 33 was his favorite number. Now, I already knew this, but it was nice for him to actually come out and confirm what I thought I already knew.
So let me jump in there and say something. So that lends a lot because you mentioned that a while back ago, and you've been talking about it like you talk about your Hollow Moon and your other conspiracies and all that other shit, like your Nostradamus self does. But I mean, you did say that, bro, and now that he's admitted it, that gives you a lot of credibility. There might be a Hollow Moon up there somehow. I'm starting to believe in you, my Sergeant at Arms. I'm starting to believe in you.
God, it ball's real.
We got to get this penny in July. Look, if the penny in July happens the way that I'm thinking, then everything else is probably going to happen the same way.
Yeah, and in secret, you told me it may and it could be more than 33 cents. I won't hold you to that, but I think he's.
We got to talk to Texture, man. We got a podcast one of these days, dude. I gotta pick your brain, man.
Hey, good Texture. Do you think it's going to be late July or mid July?
What are you looking at exiting there, buddy? Huh?
No, dude. Hey, I got stakes.
Don't give me a penny now.
Hey, listen, I'm 23 like the other kid the other day who was doing the Hex toys, and I've got 15-year stakes, 10-year stakes, 5-year stakes. You know, I got the whole 9 yards.
Right guy, yeah, right guy.
There you go, man.
Yeah, I don't know what part of July. I get every time I do one of these predictions, I give myself a ton of room for error. Like I'm actually trying to be really conservative with it. So I'm gonna say the last day of July is still ball game. You know,
I'm saying 4th of July because we're gonna see fireworks, baby.
The 3rd, the 3rd. It's gonna be on the 3rd.
Okay.
I mean, we could start seeing a little bit of a liftoff around then. It's possible.
Yeah, like half a penny, probably, huh?
Yeah, it could start picking up.
I think he's watching, guys. Hexologist. I think he's might be watching the stream, maybe.
His old lady came home and kicked him off of the computer.
Makes sense, man. He's got a family, you know.
She was at the baby shower and he heard her drive up the driveway, so he had to bail. He's like, "Oh shit!" He turned the computer off. He sent me a message. Said, "Dude, old lady just pulled up in the freaking driveway. I gotta go, man. I'm in trouble." He'd been streaming with Richard for like 3-4 hours, so he's like, "Shit, I had to go, man. I had to go." Hey, so Crypto Orange, I ain't gonna let you sit there and just stay quiet, bro.
No problem, man.
It's your turn. We always get on. We always. I mean, every stream we do a little price prediction thing. So
I just want to say a quick hello to Good Texture and Brand. I haven't met you both yet. And
nice to meet you, man.
So just to let you know, all these guys have their own streams. Brand just started his own stream. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
He sits in his living room with his T-shirt off and drinks beer and flexes.
No, I'll wear the purple shirt or the pink shirt or the salmon shirt, whatever.
And the squat videos on his YouTube channel.
I love Brand. And Good Texture is Hexodamus and my Sergeant at Arms. So all the rest of you guys fuck off. He's my dude, and he's hanging with us. And whenever I need some muscle, I call on Good Texture. And then he's got his own stream. And then Litecoin Moses too. This chap right here, man, he's everywhere in crypto. He's like the creepy crawly freaking critter out there. He's in every chat room. I mean, I see his shit everywhere, and then he interviews and does a lot of shows, and then he's my sidekick here, helps out a lot with the Discourse Syndicate, and we're always talking, and I mean, he gets on the show and he does like some. Every once in a while, he does rants, but I'm telling you, there ain't nothing like listening to Litecoin than like if you're sitting here with him at night when you got him on the headphones, he will talk for a half hour on a theory that he's got and just go into it and go into it and go into it and go into it.
They're coming true. They're coming true.
But he's got a bunch of streams, and so all these guys in here are streaming right now. And
very cool.
Kinetics, what about you, man? You gonna start streaming something, or you just gonna come hang out with us all the time, be a cutthroat?
I'm just gonna ride on your coattails. No, I thought about it. I'm either
sad,
too busy
bro.
or too lazy. I'm not sure which one.
It's definitely not for the lazy. I'm telling you, man, there's nothing like having to freaking put thumbnails together and I don't do what Hexo does. I mean, that guy is like a fucking machine. I can't believe that he does every day. He does like comes up with some brilliant freaking idea and then puts it together and it's funny as shit. And it doesn't look like he just like threw it together. He really like thinks about this shit, puts it together, and then his content too. I mean, the guy is, gosh, man, I got a man crush on my Hexo. This has turned into be a gay stream, huh?
Just coming from you.
Yeah, like I said, I'm all right with it. I'm cool with my.
Today has been like super crazy. SEX day. I mean, like Richard's over there talking about toilet paper rolls and all this kind of stuff. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I missed it. Obviously, the inside joke, but Yoda sent me a freaking meme about what fits in a toilet paper roll or something like that. I'm like, oh boy, I can just see where that one's going.
Yeah. Richard just went straight up on stream and just said flatly, without any innuendos or anything, he just said straight up, "Yeah, guys, can't fit in a toilet paper roll." Said it straight up.
Yeah, I felt him on that, trying to keep the weight down and everything too. Because like, man, when I hurt my neck and everything, man, I'd been out of commission, out of the gym for like 6 months, and I was like, I started gaining like 20 pounds. You know.
I got another prediction. I think Richard is actually probably going to lose a significant amount of weight within the next 6 months. I think he's probably within 6 months, he's going to look like a different person.
I just lost 10. I went on a low carb diet, and I'm gonna drop a few more. Then I'm gonna start running my macros and doing a different diet because the low carb diet takes it off of me quick. Because us men, man, we can when you start getting up in age, 30, 40, 50, the weight just doesn't go away, man. You got to keep at it. But the Atkins diet, for some reason, or low carb diet, I can take it off quick, but then you lose a lot of muscle too at that point, and then you have to
lose muscle eating meat. How is that possible?
No, you do. You don't have carbohydrates. Your muscles start.
I'm doing as far as muscle goes. I've been on a pure meat carnivore diet for about 16 months, and muscle wise, I'm doing better than I've ever done.
It might be the amount of proteins that you're eating. But like I said, and it's also your age. At 50, your body doesn't want to hold that muscle as easily. You literally have to work hard, and you have to have the right macros in your diet. You have to have the right amount of carbs, proteins, and fats in your diet. Because if I go on a low carb diet, my muscle starts to dwindle. I mean, I literally start to dwindle a little bit, and it's just old guy syndrome.
Take creatine. How much? Store more water.
Like how many pounds?
I take creatine. Believe me, I take.
How many pounds of meat are you eating a day when you're losing this muscle?
I'm probably doing right now. I'm probably eating close to 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds. Not a lot.
That's why you're losing muscle. You're not eating enough. That's a very small amount of food. like if I'm actually working out and doing stuff around the farm, I have to eat minimum 3 pounds a day, or I'm gonna just, not only will I start losing weight, but I won't be able to gain any muscle if I'm not eating 3 pounds a day at least.
Yeah, well, right now I'm streaming and watching freaking charts. You guys
do eggs count in towards your carnivore diet?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, eggs, dairy, pork, lamb, sheep, cheese, milk, cream, all this stuff.
Yeah, because that's how I kept a lot of muscle on my last.
It's a great diet.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. I did this one diet where this where I got the most cuttest was like I was like 16 eggs a day, and I was doing like a 1 pound, 1 or 2. It was like ribeye. Essentially, I was eating like 1 or 2 pound ribeyes, and then I lost a ton of fat on my body, but I kept a lot of the muscle. But that was me coming down from like 280 pounds down to like maybe like 235 or so.
But I'm telling you, once you hit past that 40 mark, 40, 45 years old, your muscle changes. It changes on you, and it doesn't want to stick as easy. And fat just loves you. Fat freaking loves you.
That's what the testosterone's for, right?
It's get a nice shot of tea.
I know. Yeah,
I believe you. I believe you 100%, but I also think it's probably it helps that you're not eating enough.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I need my appetite's very suppressed too when I go on straight.
Yeah, it's hard to eat a lot on a carnivore diet. Like sometimes you have to,
because you're not hungry. You're just like kind of like you know. But when you eat carbs, you're like constantly like running to the refrigerator, like more bread, more sweets,
yeah, ice cream.
Bacon's always awesome.
I love the carnivore bacon, man. You can put bacon on anything. So here we go off on another tangent. How does this what does this have to do
We
with
were talking about Richard Hart, that he had like an epiphany and that he was going to lose a lot of weight with someone's prediction.
Yeah. I hope so, because he's definitely gained some over this. He's probably relaxing right now after finally launching this thing and getting some.
No, dude. He said he was like more involved in the community than ever, it seemed like when it comes to like the dev projects on the Telegram and whatnot. I mean, just from what I've gathered.
But how active do you get when you're sitting on the computer talking to everybody all the time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably not at all.
Probably in the quarantine shit with everybody. I don't know where exactly he is, but he's under quarantine, you're not going out walking, doing anything, and
lack of sleep.
I know I lost all my sexy, man. I started getting fat as hell. That's for sure.
Sean Baker is 53 years old. His Twitter handle is sbakermd, and he's 53 years old, and he's been on a nothing but carnivore diet for 3 years, and the guy is just amazing looking. Amazing.
Takes care of himself.
Oh, the doctor that was on Joe Rogan's?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. He can deadlift a good amount.
Yeah, we're the same age. And,
well, I'd argue that health is part of the whole Hex community.
You're absolutely.
You've got your financial well-being hopefully taken care of with Hex, but then you got to think about your physical well-being and your mental, and some might even argue the spiritual too. Mm-hmm. So
and all of those things coming together is really, in my opinion, what kind of helps you with your spiritual well-being. And everybody has their own idea of what that is, whether it means something to them or not. But in some way, it does, and it's all of those things in life being kind of put together. And maybe it's just freedom for you. And I've always said, that everybody says, money don't buy you happiness. Well, money buys you options, options buy you freedom, and freedom buys you happiness. So having that all in place and together is the areas of life you need to, get together. But finances is a big deal, man.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of that, did any of you guys see Funding Jim's video today on the kid that committed suicide that Tone Bays was making fun of on Twitter?
I have it.
We talked about it earlier.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, we had a little talk about that already.
Quite a rant.
I got a little bit of a ranty, emotional about it, but
okay, cool.
It was fair. It was fair though, because it wasn't bullshit, honestly.
It was.
And agreed.
The worst part was the response. That is what is. I can't accept anything from that guy anymore because of his response. He fucking weaseled out of his response. He had a chance to make it right. Retract. I fucked up. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said this, but he didn't. And then his stupid fucking community backed him on it.
Yeah.
The Twitter tweets after him. Oh, he's a good guy. He didn't make no mistake. Yeah, I think it's funny too. Now, fuck you guys, man.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, people that can actually learn from their mistakes. I mean, Richard, I've said this before, but Richard used to promote trading and would do his ref link and whatnot. And now, with the, with Hex being complete and whatnot, he kind of created it to kind of just stake it and let that do the work, because can you imagine how many people that may be over leveraged, and if they would have just found a project like Hex maybe and got involved in that instead of like over leveraging themselves, they might be not wanting to kill themselves, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing is the kid didn't do that.
No.
The problem, it was a freaking glitch. That's
Glitch,
the real
exactly.
sad part of his situation, was that it was a mistake that he didn't make. It was a computer glitch, and I mean that's horrendous. It's just,
you know, being a kid, I could see that really, you know, upsetting him to see something like that. You know, somebody like you, RG3, you would probably see that and be like, what is this? You know, you might just be able to shrug it off, but a kid like that, he couldn't shrug it off.
no.
Was he shorting anything? Why it showed that?
No. He may have. I don't know. He was doing some type of margin trading, I think, and then
That right there, yeah.
but it glitched out and said he lost $750K.
Yeah.
And it wasn't correct. The number was wrong. Yeah,
Right.
their system, it was a system error. And then, you know, he wrote a letter and stepped in front of a train, which is really, really horrid.
So sad.
Well, yeah.
Hey,
Just in
RG3, I'll be right back. I gotta go eat dinner. I gotta go eat some steak.
You gotta go over there with Hexo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'll be back. If this stream should last another 3 more hours, so I'll be back.
I'm down. I'm totally down.
All right, peace.
But yeah, I mean, just in general, like how many people in the other cryptocurrency communities can we expose to Hex? You know, like once, you know, to Good Texture's point, the favorite number 33. You know, like say if we do pump to that, you know, however long it takes, like when are the other people from the Digibyte, the Litecoin, the BSV, Bcash, like Monero, like when are those guys gonna jump in? Like when do you think it's gonna be enough pressure for them to be like, okay, like let's take a little bit of a look into this instead of calling it scam, you know?
When the crypto YouTubers they follow decide to start following too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot probably has to align, and you know, nobody's mentioned Bitcoin too, because you know, if we get a huge bump with
There's a
Bitcoin,
reason.
that's going to
know,
I want someone to expose an inflation bug with Bitcoin and then see where the market goes from there.
You know, here's the thing. I don't know that outside money really matters that much, though. Like the way that we don't really need to have the onboarding of the entire crypto community. The way that Uniswap is built up and the way that the liquidity is so tiny that you could really have just a few directed whales do this thing. I mean, it doesn't take an entire ecosystem to pump this thing. It really doesn't.
That's
It's,
true.
point. It's a good
One
point.
whale that had like 1,000 ETH worth, something like that, right? That doubled the price. Like
I don't know. It might take maybe it takes 20,000 ETH to do it, but still 20,000 ETH compared to the market cap that could pump it to is just absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's $5 million. That's only $5 million.
Yeah, it's not much. I mean, you don't need. And so what happens is this pumping is going to do all the work that the YouTubers should have done.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to do all their work for them because there's only so much pumpage that any person with an IQ above 70 can watch before they say, okay, whoa, I'm getting a little scared here. I need to, I need to buy this thing. There's only so much people can take.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then what'd be great is what we discussed in the comments on your video earlier today, Good Textures. If there is a big financial institution or a big whale out there that doesn't care about the speculative value, but decides to put that all on Uniswap for the trading fees and provide liquidity, then I think at that point in time, then you lock that price into place.
Yeah, but where are they going to get it from? They got to get it. They don't even have it. They got to buy it if they want to.
Got to be AA, man. That's where the discount for the big whales are if you're buying in bulk. Is that AA?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, but here's the thing: we don't actually know if. Let me speak speculatively, and y'all don't set me on fire or anything for saying this. But let me speak speculatively and just assume that some shadow entity is actually recycling Ethereum into the AA. If somebody is, let's say that a massive whale is trying to get coins out of the AA, this potential shadow entity that's recycling coins can just price them out. They can dump 50,000 ETH per day into the AA and basically smother them so that they can't actually pull anything out of it.
Well, I'd like to see it happen for a couple of days and witness it from this end. I'd like to see it happen.
Yeah, it's not going to take an entire ecosystem. We're not going to have to onboard, all of the Monero and all of the Litecoin people, because a lot of those people are just, a lot of those people are absolutely religious in nature. Now, I do think that the Ripple XRP community, that a lot of those people might jump ship because they're tired of watching their coin go to nothing. They really are. I get DMs from these Ripple XRP guys every day asking me, multiple a day, asking me how to buy Hex and, thank you for showing them all this kind of stuff. And these XRP people, these Ripple people, they're tired, and they're probably either the biggest or like the second biggest crypto community on Twitter itself. And
I believe that.
There's a whole lot of them.
Is that why you've got the soldier with the hex symbol pulling up the XRP guy?
Yes, that's very strategic. Like people will talk about that they want to bring in the IOTA community and the the Zcash community. No, screw all those people. It's very strategic to go after the Ripple community because they are massive. They are one of the largest communities. They've got a very varied demographic when it comes to like male.
Too. They're locksteppers.
Yeah, they're passionate.
And they've been taking sweat for years. I mean, Ripple's been, 2013 or something? So they've been in the
2012
for a long time.
Is it 12?
Yeah, Ripple came out in 2012. Actually, Ripple was originally written by Ryan Fugger back in like 2004. I mean, it's really old stuff. It's not even built the same way that Bitcoin is. It's ancient.
Roger Ver was at least an early staker and buyer of Ripple, I think. I mean, Roger Ver's been across every big top 10 coin and a holder, so I think he has more influence than we even just realize.
His buddies are buying Hex right now. They gotta be.
Oh yeah.
At least free claiming. If nothing else, at least free claiming.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I actually meant free claiming, not buying. There's nobody buying Hex right now. Like, let's just be honest. There's nobody buying it. The volume is like nothing. There's $1 million a day in volume on Hex right now. It's microscopic. Nobody's buying it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just too bad those guys are missing half their stack.
Exactly.
Too bad for them.
Yeah.
Well, the AA's pumping it out, So.
Well, there's been distraction also with all the different experiments of different dApps and things like that utilize the momentum, and I think some of it can be synergistic, some of it can be helpful. I'm not pro or negative. I'm just commenting that there's always in any experiment there's like I think I related in one of my videos is you can have gold, the element, and the element may have value, but it also has value because it gets marketed, promoted, converted into jewelry, converted into circuit boards, converted into ornamentation or whatever you use gold for. So the base value you perceive as this 5,000 year history of holding value actually also demands businesses to be built around it. Similar to oil. Oil's been in the ground for as long as, longer than human beings have been here. But we transform it through businesses into plastics and asphalt, and we transport things around the planet using oil. So that you can have something like Hex as an example in this commodity analogy that has intrinsic value because it's malleable. It's able to be utilized by other companies for marketing. And I'm trying to relate that to other things that were like, hourglass kind of games and all of this stuff that was going on before, or these clone kind of things. They're just basically trying to suck off the brand identity of Hex versus building a real business around it. So in a lot of ways, I like what the HXY community has been doing and the momentum. I still realize that it's centralized. I still realize that it's speculation about a business around a commodity, in my opinion, that Hex is. So I'm trying to relate it those ways. But I've seen positive movement. And I think that also some of the price participation in the Hex AA or in the Uniswap volume has been a little bit distracted with these other with the Hex business, honestly, because I see movement there and a lot of participation in their Telegram, very active, but I still see it as a business built on top of the commodity of Hex.
Yeah, I think all that volume, everything that we're seeing is very natural. I mean, this is not anything even unnatural in the history of Hex. You know, it pumps a little while, things kind of calm down, they settle down, and they just chill out for a while. And this is very natural across all cryptocurrencies. This kind of thing happens. So I think that the fact that we're entering this lull period, I think we're getting really, really close to a bottom. And if we get below 0025, I'll be really surprised.
Yeah.
So I think RG3 should sell his Southern California house. I should sell my Northern California property. We should just like triple the price of Hex by buying all the volume. It only takes a few $1 million to move it, right?
There you go.
Yeah, you could do it.
I second that.
Technically, yeah, but
RG3's like,
I've been paying on this motherfucker for a long time, and it ain't cheap. So,
Yeah, exactly.
oh man, oh hey, we got somebody rolling in here. Anybody want to let John come in?
Yeah, I can. It's a little later here. I'm on the East Coast, so I'll let
Oh,
some.
shit, dude.
Hey, Crypto Orange, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks,
We're
Orange.
good to have you on.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Hanging out with us.
Thank you, RG. Great, appreciate
All right, buddy.
Hey, man.
All right, so John, let's see here. Let me pull down. Orange. Here, bring John up. Yo, what's up, John?
Beard guy, man. I'm getting jealous. I gotta start growing my beard out again.
He's got this
Jim, you
meticulous
got to
beard.
get on it.
Well, what's up?
Oh yeah, KNTX knows about the beard.
Man, you'd probably spend more time grooming that than you do your dogs.
Yeah, mine used to be like good textures. I need to show you my driver's license tomorrow.
Good
Like
texture.
it.
Got that
Good
damn Abraham Lincoln thing going on there, man.
With the
Yeah.
He's got
cabin
the
and
off the
everything.
grid beard, man.
Look, if I cut it, we'll stop pumping. I mean, the price won't pump if I cut it.
Don't cut it. Don't
Don't
cut it.
cut
I
it.
ain't. Yeah. Don't cut it.
Like the
Easy top.
30. The
Don't cut it
33
till
cent
easy
prediction is like baked into it. Like it's
Don't even
that's where
touch it, bro. Get your hands off it.
That's where the 33 is coming from.
All right. Just take care of that thing.
Grow that
Only
Gandalf
put it where it
beard.
needs to be.
That's right. I don't think I'm gonna cut my hair either. It's all a part of the 33.
See, I'm down with that too. I don't want to ever have to cut my hair again. That's why I want to retire. I just want to let it just dreads. I want dreads. Man.
Dreads.
There you go.
Caribbean.
Okay, that's cool.
Rastafari, man.
Be like a 60-year-old surfing, walking on the beach, dreads, no
There you
shoes,
go.
Smoking
board
a joint.
shorts.
A nice 3-bedroom house with a pool in Mayaguez
Yeah.
is around $1,600 a month, something like that.
Oh,
You said Mayaguez?
Yeah, Mayaguez or Rincon.
Oh, nice. I used to live in Saba a long time ago,
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there back in the
trying to
late
talk himself into
90s.
being a surfer. What'd you say?
Okay. I was there back in the late 90s,
nice.
Yeah,
What were
back
you
in Puerto
doing?
Rico. No,
Yeah,
my
I'm
dad
with-
was in the Navy, so I was on Rosie
Oh.
Roads out there before they retired the base.
Yeah, that's my VA. That's the one I go to. They actually remodeled it, and it's a really nice one there.
They
You
got
know,
the VA there?
Rosie Roads.
On-
Hospital.
On the old base there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
I
mean,
went
they
to
shut it
school
down.
out
The
there.
base isn't there anymore. I mean, they're not doing anything active at all except for the VA hospital.
Oh, okay. I heard they had some sort of OOD or something like that on duty to
Yeah.
a certain regard, but I'm not sure. I can't say.
That's cool. They got a VA there. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. It's a nice remodel. That, they put money into it.
Nice.
And
Gary made a really good point earlier. I thought about how little money you actually need. You know, how you don't actually need millions and millions and millions of dollars to do well. For most people, I guess it depends. But if you own your own place, I thought this was fascinating what he was talking about, because I've been thinking about this for years. all you really have to do is buy food and electricity and your phone bill, and maybe put some gas in your car, and if you can do that, you're pretty good, and it doesn't cost that much to do that. I mean, you could actually do all that on a minimum wage salary if you really like a full-time minimum wage salary. If you don't have a rent payment, you can do all that stuff pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take much.
What happens between taxation and the cost of where you live, who you're paying for where you live.
Well, that's another reason why I'm in Mississippi. It is the cheapest place in the whole country to live.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, dude.
Smart.
Very strategic. I planned this place for a long time. I pay $12 a month to live here.
Oh wow.
Damn.
That's not bad.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that ain't,
people that can find something they can put their energy into, like 3 to 4 months of a year, and they can do the things that they want to do the rest of the year. And they are smart that way. They'll have bursts of income production, and then they'll have basically they're not having to live miserly, but they're basically living the life that they want to live, like travel and things like that. So, yeah, this idea that we always have a monthly nut that's a certain amount we have to break isn't necessarily true. It's kind of a self-fulfilling.
$12 bucks, bro. $12. I opened my front door. It cost me $12 fucking dollars.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how I planned it. I planned a long time because I like to be able to do this stuff that we're doing right now and study cryptocurrencies and study hex and stuff like that. Like, I would rather do that than live in a super expensive apartment in Falls Church, Virginia. I would rather live someplace like I am right now and be able to have the freedom to do whatever the heck I want. And so I pay taxes. I have to pay $12 a month taxes, and that's it. The whole place is, I paid for everything.
That's awesome, man. Such a good, and if people learn those things so many things in the United States, especially, but other countries as well, is all about consumerism. And that if you're not over leveraged and basically competing with your perceived neighbor, then you feel depressed, or you feel like you're not meeting, what's expected of you, either on your own standard or on other people putting standards on you. And I think that kind of this self-reliance thing, I hope that this comes back after this COVID business and all this stuff like that people kind of feel like, hey, I don't really need to, again, not to be miserly, but to feel self-fulfilled because you grew your own vegetables, because you built your own addition to your house. This capability thing, I hope that this has a resurgence in the next 10, 15 years where people don't have to be so dependent on everybody else delivering some service or good to them.
Yeah, and it might come from economic necessity, because if the economy doesn't seem on paper to be doing that great, and if it continues to unfold the way it is now, and I don't know that it's certain that we're going to go into a depression. I don't really think so, to be honest. But if we did, I think that it would make a lot of people try to go back to the old ways of trying to be a little bit more self-sufficient, just for the simple reason of it's cheaper.
Yeah, it might, out of necessity, it might happen.
You think of all those guys that went through World War II or before World War II, and then afterwards, this utility of, every person I know that was born in the 40s and 50s, they had their garage made into a little workshop. They built or made anything that was needed around the house. They were resourceful, and they would, they didn't have to it just what my grandparents, my parents did as well, was just more of a self-reliant culture. And again, I grew up in Texas, might be a little bit different than the coasts, but I miss that.
And it's still like that to a degree here in the South where I'm at. Just among, especially the older people, it's amazing to me how thrifty they are. Like, they do not throw anything away. I'll have things like, especially tools that may be broken. Sometimes I'll just be like, hey, you want this? And they'll look at me sideways like I'm crazy. They're like, what do you mean? Or what are you doing with this? They're like, this is worth a lot. And they'll just take it off of me. And they'll be happy for it. The reason being is because their ancestors that they knew when they were growing up did grow up in the Great Depression. And the Great Depression down here was, from what I understand, it wasn't actually as bad as it was in the cities, because here everyone for so long has already been accustomed to growing their own food and things like that. I mean, I can't drive 2 minutes around here without seeing a massive home garden. I mean, they're everywhere. People still grow their own food down here to this day, and people have historically been farmers and things like that. So I don't think the Great Depression really hit down here that hard, but people have also been a lot slower to adopt to the new lifestyles. You know, people aren't as dependent on all the new stuff. I mean, people out here, you know, where I'm at, that we're still getting our water out of holes in the ground. You know, that's just how people have been doing it out here for so long. They never changed.
Yep. Do you go hunting? Good Texture, do you go hunting?
I don't personally I haven't lately. Like, I've been deer hunting before and things like that. There's squirrels everywhere. You know, if for some reason the supermarket runs out of food, you know, I've got enough squirrels around here to last for a long time.
It tastes like chicken.
Some Fallout style.
Yeah, and I got this bird gun behind me. That bird gun. No, that is actually a 12 gauge shotgun. And that 12 gauge that 12 gauge. I took some of the other ones somewhere else, but that 12 gauge. That 12 gauge will do the job.
Yeah,
that's not going to do anything. Trying to get yourself squirrels, though, man.
Well, I mean, that's what birdshot is for. You get birdshot. You get birdshot in one of those, and you shoot it from 20 yards. It'll be fine.
You kill 4 squirrels.
Yeah.
Might have to pick some BBs out of your food, but hey.
Well, I got steel shot for that, just in case it does leave any BBs in it. So, and I don't like to shoot. I don't shoot lead on my land unless I have like this much wood to collect the ammo, because eventually I want to have like cows and, you know, pigs and goats and all that kind of stuff, and I don't want them. I've already read the studies. You know, there's not a lot of lead uptake into grass. But I just don't want to have lead. You know, this stuff's toxic. I don't want it all over my land. I don't want it getting into the water. I don't want it, none of this stuff. So I collect all of it. But I got the steel shot for that. I'd rather shoot steel, because steel is not toxic.
Yeah. Well, John and I are in a very rural part of Colorado, and so we've got, it's very trendy here for people.
You guys know each other?
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be one of my new agents. So.
Oh, nice.
So it's very trendy here. If all the damn Californians would stop buying up all the property around here.
No. Let them keep coming, man. Let them keep coming. Actually, just to let you know, they're not really Californians. They're transplants from somewhere else. Nobody is really from California.
Yeah, that's true.
They're all from somewhere else, and
that really is true.
They live there for a couple of years and then sell their overpriced houses and then drive a bar housing market here in Colorado.
Yeah, I mean
that's what I did.
That's what my family did the same thing. They moved out there, you know, the Castle Rock area and out in that area, and then I've got family out in Fort Collins. But yeah, they all left here and went over there, you know. But
they can have that shithole.
Yeah.
Y'all got a lot of restrictions over there in Colorado, though. Y'all got.
It used to be that way.
It's not like that anymore.
No, it didn't used to be that way. It is now.
You guys got that cold white shit in the winter too. You can have.
It's that nice. Shit. The fluffy pow pow. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cool
fluffy pow pow.
It's a really cool state, but like the restrictions are just amazingly, like, you can't even collect your own water over there.
You can now.
Well, it's just like you can now. But it's a little bit different.
About
like
4 years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
like in California, you can't collect your own water. They'll fine you. They will definitely fine you. But it's a little bit better out here on the western slope where we're at. It's not as bad. It's not as
Don't tell them where we're at. Don't tell them about our little honey hole here, bro.
That's a big spot. It's a big spot.
It is horrible here. It's horrible. Life sucks.
Let me answer some quick questions before we get into the freaking California hate here. I don't care, really. I don't, because I love this fucking place, man.
I miss California, to be honest with you. I used to live in Temecula.
Oh shit, yeah,
right. That's where I was at before I came out.
It's right by the RG3s. So.
Is that the other Karen neighborhood next to RG's Karen?
Yeah,
neighborhood?
that's the Karens. Like, that's where the Karens live in Temecula.
All sorts of Karens
and my town. So let's see. I saw something in here. How much? Where did it go? Doggone it! I started scrolling and I screwed myself up. But let's see what else is in here.
How many coins should one try to hold?
There you go. How many coins should one try to hold?
Yeah, get you $1 million, bro. Get you $1 million. There's no. I mean, you should be able to get $1 million if you're in America.
Yeah, you should be able to catch $1 million. I mean, the obvious question is as many as you can freaking handle, right? As many as you can get your hands onto.
Yeah.
Before big payday.
What's $1 million? Was that around what, $4,000, $5,000? What is that?
No, it's like 3. It's like 3 grand.
3 right now. I think today's even a bit. Didn't we have a big dip today? Didn't we have a dip today?
No,
we had a little
really.
bit of a dip. Not much, but it was kind of going down. But
like when you zoom out, everything that we think is a big dip is like microscopic.
I wasn't on a 15-minute. I was on like a 1 hour. I thought I saw something.
No, if you scroll out to the daily. If you come out to the daily, it hasn't moved.
Yeah, it hasn't moved. It's sideways. It did. We did have a little scam wick like a few hours ago. That went down, a little wiki.
But these 20 or $30 million coin sales on Uniswap, they're not really moving the price that much. They're pretty tiny.
You see that? You see that wick there? We had one dropped into the deuce. It was like 2.9. Was
it? Okay.
Yeah, so it had we had a little dip action today.
That's a good buy spot. But folks that are talking about wanting to, how much should they get? It's also dependent on how they want to stake. If somebody has a whole lot of time and they're fine staking, you stake 1 million coins for 15 years, you're probably going to get 100 million coins out of it, at least.
There's some oscillations that's happening between HXY and Hex also because of V2 and their liquidity. Before, they had liquidity on version 1 of like $20,000. Now they have liquidity of about $500,000. So you're seeing oscillations between Hex dump, even if you don't call it a dump, but it comes down to, like you said, 0.29, and then that goes into HXY, and then that price will oscillate up, just like sloshing a tub, and that price will oscillate up, and then you'll see it moves and sells off. It comes back into Hex. So you'll see. I think you'll see oscillation as they participate in their culture too.
So not to get all numerological on you.
No, let's get numerological.
But I did what you said. I'm looking at the chart right now, so I'm stretched out and looking at the chart.
Is this about May 13th?
From all-time highs, this is the third dip below 3. Third dip below 3. So I don't know. I'm just saying. If you look at the ETH chart, it's the third dip.
What do you see as the all-time high on the ETH chart?
The all-time high on the ETH chart is
it's 33327.
6595. No, wait a minute. No.
Wait, you're telling me
there's that
you're telling me the all-time high on the ETH chart was 0.0000333? Wow.
No, on the ETH.
Wait, you're telling me
on the ETH,
it's 9
and you're telling me that happened on May the 13th, 2020?
It sure did.
And you're telling me that the coin bottomed on January the 4th, the 33rd day after launch? Wow. Wait.
Yeah.
But 33 cents this year is crazy though. Woo, you gotta be crazy.
I'm just looking at it. I'm just trying to stay in line with the threes, man.
So is that 33 cents on July 33rd?
July 33rd.
On a leap year?
I gotta quit. I gotta hush myself or I'm gonna start spilling the beans on everything.
Oh, come on, man. This is the place to do it.
Good textures from the
future. How much code have you read? You said
you
read the code. You said you read the hex code every single day, right?
I've looked into it. I'll be honest. I don't understand all of it. Like I don't even read the Bitcoin claiming code anymore. I don't care. I don't read it. I'm over it. The Bitcoin claiming code is just. It doesn't really matter that much, because I'm not claiming Bitcoins with it, and it's going to go away. It's going to be a dead portion of code after the big payday. It's just going to be dead. So it's like I don't even put any effort into trying to understand it.
I think, to be honest, it's like the most useless portion of Hex. I mean, who's it really onboarding? What has it really done as far as momentum? Other than saying, hey, I'm giving it free to Bitcoin holders, really, and it goes away, and their stakes actually mean nothing to us. So really, Bitcoin holders and big Bitcoin whales don't mean shit, because anybody who could put a couple of ETH in, ended up with bigger bags than most of them did.
Yeah.
I mean, how many millions was that? Like 1,500 the other day worth? Wasn't worth but a couple million, right?
It was like 3 million, I think.
3 million?
1,300. Yeah. Well, because they only got what was it? Less than half of their bag. So that's why it was only 3 million.
So in the scheme of things, I mean, other than it pumps it does pump our
brand awareness.
Our
premium.
Yeah.
Well, and it helps our big payday for the virality.
Yeah, the virality bonus or whatever it changes. So that's about the good thing about it, I guess.
And y'all know they launched it on December the 3rd.
Oh, here's one for you. Here's one for you. Get texture. 33 cents, 33 days before big payday.
Hey, good texture.
What's okay? Wait, do the math. What's 33 days before big payday? Where do we?
That's like the 16th of October.
Guys, wasn't it also like the 33rd day on the adoption amplifier that we had like the 1.8 million per?
Yeah, the biggest day.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys mentioned that already, but I remember looking back at the stakes that I put in and being pretty happy on that day.
Yeah, the biggest day ever.
And somebody responded on that article. By the way, I wrote an article that has a lot of this esoteric stuff in it. I put it on Steemit. If y'all haven't seen it, it's stickied on my Twitter. I think it's cool because I wrote it, but y'all might want to check it out.
I'll check it out right now.
Yeah, somebody commented on this article, and I thought it was pretty cool that they think that something is going to happen during the third month of the third quarter of this year. I thought that was interesting.
Third month of the third quarter.
Yeah, third month of the third quarter is going to be September. So I thought that was interesting. But I don't know how applicable that'll be, because 2020 itself doesn't have a lot of that doesn't have a lot of
multiply it.
Doesn't have a lot of anything in it.
Yeah.
A lot of riots.
Anyway.
There's a lot of riots.
In Seattle over here, man. Oh my God, dude. It's pretty
who we should talk to somebody that has connections with Chinese miners, because before they sell their Bitcoin, after they mine it, they still could have claimed. Well, I guess they wouldn't have bags. Yeah, they wouldn't have already have bags. They wouldn't have anything then.
That's like crypto mafia over there, dude. I mean, that's like, you don't talk to those people.
Yeah, but they're gamblers. They're gamblers. They're going to speculate. It's still billions of people. Regardless, it's still billions of people.
I was talking about the mining community. Those are some cutthroats over there, man.
I remember Richard saying, the miners don't. Yeah, when was the last time you heard from a miner from China? They don't really talk.
They don't care. They don't care about.
I was criticizing some Bitcoin miners on Twitter about a month or two ago, and I was criticizing one of the largest miners in China, and they came out of their woodwork. And normally when you talk about an organization or a large professional organization or an incorporation or something like that, they come out and they send out their most professional people, and they're really nice, and they're trying to calm you down and stuff like that. These people weren't like that. They were just pretty much just going toe to toe with me, acting like any normal regular old Twitter user.
Well, they don't have to worry about customer service.
Yeah.
All they got to do is worry about dumping on your head, so they can keep mining another day.
Paying that electric bill, baby.
Yep.
Paying that electric bill.
Yep.
All right, fellas. Well, I'm getting ready to shut this puppy down. Anybody
Good
got
texture's okay with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good texture. I'm looking forward to reading your article, man. I'm gonna do that after the stream.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
By the way, very good
man.
job.
Appreciate that.
Very good job on that article, bro. That was a good one, man. I like
Hey, I
it.
appreciate that.
Released while this stream was going on, but Crypto Coffee just released about an hour long or 45-minute long, and it's all about onboarding. So it's really an outreach to people that aren't in crypto.
Nice.
Good.
He's the one to do it
right now.
He's
yeah,
the one to do it. He's got great content, and he's been MIA for a few days. I haven't talked to him in about a week. So,
have you ever had him on here?
What's that?
Have you ever had him on here? He'd be a good person to get on here.
Oh yeah, he's been on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've had him on a lot.
I knew he was on the 24-hour stream, but yeah.
You know, Bran, the funny thing is when you go through that article, it's got some interesting astrological features in it, and then Hexologist, being the good journalist that he was, when he was talking to Richard today, he was able to spur Richard into saying that. Basically, he didn't say this verbatim, but he basically said astrology was garbage. I thought that was hilarious. First he says that his favorite number is 33, and then he pretends like he doesn't know what the number 13 is. He's like, I think I saw a football player with a number 13 once.
And you know he's a good man, and he doesn't want to get too close to the devil. You know.
Yeah, from what I understand, he has a history in poker also, and don't poker players. It didn't. Am I making that up? Doesn't, because he talks about poker a lot, so I'm assuming he has.
Talking about that, yeah.
Yeah, he talks about poker all the time, so I'm assuming he has a poker past, and poker players are notorious for bluffing. So he goes from having a favorite number of 33 to 13 means nothing, and then he's got all these ritualistic looking candles all over his house while he says while he's obviously performing some type of rituals in his house with different colored candles.
Dude. Come on, I mean, shit, dude.
He names his coin Hex, and then he talks about Saturn. That was amazing. He talked about in the video today. He talked about how much he loves Saturn. And like he was like getting all sarcastic about it, talking about how he wanted to start relaying Hex transactions on Saturn. It was amazing. And then he said, astrology was garbage. So it's a funny guy.
Our reasons we're conspiracy theorists that have lost our minds. Right?
Yeah.
Right, we're out of this world.
You guys are all something else, man. I appreciate it. Gives me something to smile about when I get off this thing. I love all you guys. All right, man. Well, I'm going to shut it all down. Thanks.
Cool.
Bran, Kinetics.
All right, guys.
John, come back on when you can stay a little longer. And
man.
Get on a little
I
earlier.
appreciate it.
And Jim, thanks as always, man. Sergeant at Arms, good texture. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Quayne, I don't know where he went. I guess
He's in the chat.
He's probably drank too much wine now, and he doesn't want to go. All right, guys, have a good one. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys all on Monday. All right, catch you later.
Hey, take care, yo.
See you guys. Bye.